That's right. The folks at QC Kinetics can get that done for you. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in what they call regenerative medicine, joint preservation. You can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. It's the future of medicine. They use an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. It's incredible. Thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life to the fullest again. You want to know more about QC Kinetics? Well, they have a free consultation. Give them a call. If you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's injury or arthritis, you can do surgery. 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN. They have offices in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. Again, it's QC Kinetics. The consultation's free. 860-440-PAIN.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What is going on, all you scallywags and nutmeggers across the fruited plain? It is the new and improved Reese on the Radio Rundown. Welcome to the program. My Emmy-winning producer has outdone himself, of course, as usual. We got plenty of news and plenty of views to get into today. Oh, isn't it a brand new day? Look, just applaud yourselves again. It's a brand new day. You should be happy. You should be proud to be Americans today. Even if you didn't vote for homie, even if you didn't vote for the OG, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to give you permission to say, you know what, I look forward to this. We got so much stuff to get into, folks, and I'll save my monologue for the 3 p.m. hour because I got to tell you that I started this off a little bit disappointed today. Let me tell you why. Here's why I started off a little disappointed. I remember watching, and someone will remember in the chat room or one of you will call. In fact, Roland, if you could be so kind, see if you could look this up. The date that Alex Rodriguez, former Yankee, former Texas Ranger, when he announced his retirement, if you could find out the year that was. I've talked about this recently on my Sunday show. That one of the most 2016. Okay, thank you. One of the most disrespectful things you can do is to take the wind out of someone else's glory on purpose. Understanding, like, it would be something different if it happened coincidentally when Alex Rodriguez announced his retirement. But he waited until the World Series. In fact, Roland, if you can read that, you read the year. Do you have the date that he announced? And does it say anything about the World Series taking place at the time when he announced it? Because I'm almost certain it's in November, right? When he announces it in 2016?
Says August 12, 2016.
Okay, August 12, 2016? No, something's wrong there. No, something's wrong there. I got to double check that. But I remember it vividly, that there was a big, ridiculous, that's probably the last game he played. That's probably the kid. But when he called in his retirement, as it were, that was during the World Series that year. But anyway, I remember Joe Buck calling it disrespectful to do during the World Series because they know that was going to gain news and notoriety. This is the October Classic, but now it's in November, actually, in most cases. But nonetheless, it is an important game for the league. And in doing that, many people chided Alex Rodriguez. It showed how selfish he was. This would be the equivalent of wearing red at a wedding or white at a wedding. Unless, of course, the wedding required everybody to be dressed in white. Be like a woman wearing a white dress at a wedding. You just don't do it. To wear red at a wedding, you just don't do it. You're trying to take a recognition from the bride. You're stealing her glory, stealing her thunder, as the women would say. So what Joe Biden did, not the day before, what he did just minutes before the inauguration was probably the most telling about his entire administration. And that is that they are pieces of trash. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Amy G says someone wore red to my wedding. I would have excommunicated them forever. How dare that harlot? Was it a guy or a woman? Anyway, nonetheless, that's what we saw. And I was disgusted by it. Not that I thought it was beyond the pale from Joe Biden. In no way did I think that Joe Biden wouldn't pardon his own family. But I need to take you back a little bit, folks. Because if you were listening to my Sunday show, I talked about this a little bit at the end of the show. And that is, games are over. No one can say anything to us about decorum. No one can say anything to us about precedent. No one can say anything to us about the rule of law, about being above or beneath the law, or hell, the law. They all look silly, every one of them. All of them look like a bunch of bozos. And they should. I want to take you back. This is, if you haven't already heard, Dr. Fauci, pardon. Liz Cheney, pardon. Adam Schiff, pardon. Was it Benny Johnson? Pardon. The January 6th committee, pardoned. We've got the Biden family, his brother, pardoned. Last minute declaration, absolute pardon. It's important that we take you back, folks. It's important that we take you back to the people who told us, oh, no, that's not right. Those things they shouldn't be done. If it happens, I think that it would be a miscarriage of justice. Here's one of them here. Apparently, the first person to give Joe Biden his walking papers, Chucky Schumer.
The president seems intent on filling each of his remaining days in office with petulance, grievance, self-interest. The president's reportedly asking his staff about whether he can whether he can issue. President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr. President, that would be a gross abuse of the presidential pardon authority.
It was an abuse. That's what Chuck Schumer was talking about with Donald Trump. A pardon that never came to pass. A pardon that was never in the works. That's what they were telling us. Adam Kinzinger. In fact, Donald Trump just finished talking about him a moment ago. Always crying at a moment's notice. The most beta male in existence. Said if he were to get a pardon, he would turn it down.
Issue pardons for the January 6th committee members, including yourself?
No, I don't want it. Look,
You don't want it?
No, because the second a pardon is issued, and look, I understand the theory behind it, because Donald Trump has clearly said he's going to go after everybody. And it's not going to be for the January 6th investigation. What they'll do is they'll weaponize other investigations. They'll look into everything and start an investigation that'll end up coming to naught, force people to pay money. This happened to Brad Raffensperger in Georgia as he was forced to defend himself. But the second you take a pardon, it looks like you're guilty of something. I'm guilty of nothing besides bringing the truth to the American people and in the process embarrassing Donald Trump, because for 187 minutes he sat there and did absolutely nothing. and showed how weak and scared he truly was. So no, I don't want it. And, the bottom line is, if he wants to bring up January 6th again, we've had all this talk about how we're moving on from January 6th. And trust me, Anderson, I would love to. Like, my life has been defined by this for 4 years. But if he wants to bring it back, I will be happily talking about it.
Good. I want everybody who says that they're not guilty, turn down the pardon now. Refuse it. You don't have to take the pardon. You're not mandated to take anything. You're innocent. You trust the system? No one's above the law. I heard Anthony Fauci has released a letter saying that, no, I don't believe that I should get a pardon. I've done nothing wrong. Rescind it. Say, I want no parts of it. Tell the president, thanks, but no thanks. Who will do it? Where's Liz Cheney? Has she put out a tweet yet? Somebody post Liz Cheney's tweet, turning it down. No, what we did was no violation of the law. We stand on our merits. We stand on the constitutional right to convict this president of the United States. Well, come on, have at it. Where's good old Adam Schiff? Where's Shifty Schiff? I don't hear anything from old Shifty Schiff. This was him talking about not Donald Trump's commutations or pardons, him talking about the possibility of Joe Biden giving him, because he's on the January 6th committee, giving him a pardon. Here's what Adam Schiff had to say, and he's got a pardon.
I don't think it's a good idea, and I would urge the president not to do that. First of all, I think it's unnecessary, but I also think it's unwise. I don't want to see a precedent where you start to have presidents on the eve of leaving office issuing blanket pardons to people of their own party or of their own administration. That, I think, would tend to encourage people to feel they're not beholden to the law because the outgoing president will give them a prospective pardon. So I think it's unwise policy, and I would urge the president not to go down that road.
So we can expect Adam Schiff to hand over the pardon and say, no, thanks, but no thanks. I think I'm good. I'll roll the dice. I'm not hearing anybody out there saying it, though. Where is everyone? Remember, they all told us that Donald Trump was going to give a preemptive pardon to every member of his family. And it was unwise, and it was all an admission of guilt. But wait, do not take my word for it. Never take my word for it. Take theirs.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes. And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
I imagine if he decides to issue these preemptive pardons, it will be cast in a way that he is protecting his family and protecting their reputations from, villainous exterior forces that are against him.
First off, we should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability and that of his family members that pardons are a major obsession with him.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get-out-of-jail-free card, that seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right, with Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. Maybe they've committed a lot, and they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I don't think I've done anything criminal. But, where does that come from, that concept that you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand?
We have Tish James. We have Xavier Becerra. Mimi Rocha is literally my DA in my town. there will be opportunities to prosecute these people regardless if they abuse the pardon power as they are thinking.
Hopefully, Ellie, there will be a skyfall on this entire crime family, and there will be another day for them to die.
The president does indeed pardon, let's say, Rudy Giuliani or any members of his family. Would you see that, and I asked Preet Bharara this question, as essentially an admission of guilt?
I certainly would view it that way. I think millions of Americans would view it that way. If there was no belief in criminality, why would he think a pardon was necessary?
That last guy was Adam Schiff. That's right. If they've done nothing wrong, why would they need a pardon? And them getting one would be an admission of guilt. So, Dr. Fauci, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Adam Schiff, Benny Johnson, the entire staff of the January 6th committee, Capitol police officers who testified in the January 6th committee, Joe Biden's family, Hunter Biden, anybody else who received a pardon. Ladies and gentlemen, all guilty as charged. Set by their own standards. Because remember, they're always on the right side of history. They are the standard bearers. We're just going to call it like they see it. We're going to agree with them that anybody who would preemptively pardon a soul as a president of the United States is an admission of guilt. And now all we need to do is continue to keep pressing them about it. We can't walk away from this. The news media, Joe Biden did the big F you to the American people and to the American news media who carried his water for 4 years. That's what he did to their entire legacy. Kick me out? That's exactly what he did. I told you he was going to. I told you he was going to take every word that they said as they stood by and protected him. That he was going to destroy their credibility at the end of it. Ha! Got my back, you say, huh? Take this. That's all. Jonathan L. is in the chat room and says, yay, Orange Man is going to save us. Talk to me in 4 years. We will. We will, John. We'll be there in 4 years. And if anything, even half of what the administration says that they want to do gets done, we won't even hear from you. You want to talk to you in 4 years, John? Let me use you as an example. Try this on for size. Where were you 2 weeks ago? Where were you 2 years ago? Where were you after the debate? Where were you on election day? Where were you 4 years later when you couldn't wait for this administration to take over and you were happily voting for it? Where have you been for 4 years? Where's the my bad, John? Where's your oops, my bad? Don't come at me with the talk to you in 4 years. It's been 4 years. You owe us a little talking, don't you? Shouldn't you be coming at us with the, nothing at all? You coming to us asking us to give what you wouldn't even bother to give? You can't even give it now. We know exactly who the president you voted for turned out to be, the person we all told you he was, incompetent, missing, and in most cases, from what we find out from Mike Johnson, apparently signed executive orders he didn't even read. Oh, we got that audio. Please don't come at us to talk to you in 4 years. You've had your 4 years. Where's the I'm sorry? Where's the apology? You've got nothing. Spare me. Spare all of us. You got nothing to hang your hat on. The reason why Orange Man is in the office is because of who you voted for. And if you voted for Kamala Harris again, I hoped you were holding your nose to prevent from the stink of that vote. Hello, Carl. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and your phone calls. 860-522-WTIC. I'm not finished with this audio. Y'all be good. We'll be back.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY, and follow your local news station.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
And now, a WTIC news update.
23 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford at 2:30. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News. A blast of extremely cold air over us. The forecast coming up. President Trump sworn in at noon today as the nation's 47th president in the Capitol Rotunda. Trump serving his second non-consecutive term in the White House.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer.
Trump administration ending use of a border app called CBP. That's one that allows nearly 1 million people to legally enter the United States with eligibility to work. Trump expecting to sign at least 200 executive actions. Federal safety regulators have upgraded an investigation, into Ford's hands-free Blue Cruise driving system.
The investigators specifically looking at whether vehicles that have Blue Cruise properly detect stopped and slow-moving objects and whether drivers are given enough warning. There have been 2 fatal crashes involving Blue Cruise, 4 other frontal collisions. This intensifies a probe that began in April.
Jeff Gilbert reporting.
WTIC.
Sunshine mixing with a few clouds out there this afternoon. Highs in the 20s, in many cases low to mid-20s, and with a bit of a northwest breeze, wind chill is in the teens much of the time. Partly cloudy to clear tonight, widespread lows in the single digits. Partly sunny with some increase in clouds Tuesday. Highs only 15 to 20 tomorrow. Then becoming mostly clear tomorrow night with lows in the single numbers above and below zero. Wednesday looks sunny. The high temperature struggling to try to reach 20. Partly sunny Thursday, highs in the mid-20s to low 30s. Friday and Saturday both look sunny. The high near freezing Friday, 30 to 35 Saturday. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
23 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzz warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 113 through 124. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. While supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Are you a commercial building owner in southern New England? Are you frustrated with your roof services? Contact Eagle Rivet Roof Service today. Our skilled technicians provide tailored roof repair and maintenance programs to maximize your building's lifespan. With 24/7 emergency response and comprehensive service options, we are Greater New England's trusted commercial roofing provider. Visit EagleRivet.com for a complimentary inspection or call 860-953-1231. Protect your investment with Eagle Rivet.
Following heartwarming yet informative scene is and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts.
Say personal observation would
at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use free by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, man, we just need to applaud ourselves. We got here. We waited patiently. We finally got here. And as far as I'm concerned, it is a new year, as many people are expressing in the chat room. Sokolowski says, you think government would be better with term limits instead of some actually dying of old age on the job? Our own Rosa is on her 18th term. I couldn't agree with you more. Some of these folks need to go. My wife says, we finally have our country back. Carl is in the spot. L.A., all the way in Cleveland, is also checking out the show. One of my ardent supporters who loves sharing this show with all of her friends, especially those in the inner city who don't have any time for me. Speaking of inner city, folks, stick around because Reese on the Radio is going to do the I Have an Idea speech. Now, why would I do this? Why would I do this? Oh, and Apple's in the house, too. We'll get Apple on the phone as well. We're going to talk to her and hopefully Dave about their new podcast, Prepare to Unfriend. Why am I doing the I Have an Idea speech? Well, listen, I got to be honest with you. I'm done with the civil rights movement. I've had it, okay? I know right now it's spattering. So much damage has been done to that effort that now it's a joke, okay? It is a complete and utter joke. And nothing upset me more than this being Dr. Martin Luther King's celebration, his birthday, or when it's observed federally. The inauguration's happening. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. And I get this memo that says, Reese, no matter what you do not air any segment of Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. And I went, what? Really? What is there? I thought it was something personal. It was just like, look, we know how you black guys get. You immediately want to invoke Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're just not having it. At least that's what I thought it was. But no, I looked this up. As soon as I saw it, I got word. I went, no way. Folks, do you know that the family of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. do not want that speech spoken unless they get a cut? Unless they get a cut. And apparently, that money goes to what they say is for civil rights causes, as I throw quotations with my fingertips. Civil rights causes. I don't know what they are, but apparently that's a thing. So I can't inspire people with the words, young people who might be listening, with the audacious and important and relevant words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man who is, in essence, here to speak to all of us of how we could be better stewards of this great land. Not without them getting a cut. So I decided if we can't play the I Have a Dream speech, I figure I would say the I Have an Idea speech. I don't have a dream. I have an idea. And I think they're good ideas. And so I will read them to you later on today. Please stay tuned for them. And I will throw in the whole effect of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speech. I'll throw a little echo on my voice. Why not? Why not? I think it's appropriate. It'll be like I'm right there in Washington and all of you there listening to I Have an Idea speech. So get ready for that. I think, to be honest with you, this speech is more warranted. And it's important. Now, back to the show. I will get to the phone calls in a second, but I want to play this piece. Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, was on Barry Weiss's television show or radio show. And it's called The Free Press. Barry Weiss left the confines of the New York Times after she realized that she could not have a difference of opinion with her own paper, and started the Free Press, where she started to talk to everyone, left, right, center, up, down, doesn't matter. And when she decided to have that conversation with different people of all walks of life, she realized something. She was like, you know what? Free speech is good speech. And she brought on Mike Johnson recently. You may have heard about the New York Times article just recently and also the famous Wall Street Journal piece. But the Wall Street Journal piece did not quote what Mike Johnson is about to reveal here. Pay very close attention, because it solidifies, codifies, ratifies what yours truly has been saying for the last 4 years. Joe Biden is in charge of nothing. Joe Biden is responsible for nothing. In fact, Joe Biden may have just been given an out. He may not be responsible for any of the calamity that we witnessed for 4 years. Listen closely.
Say personal observation. What
well, I
kind
mean,
of thing did you see?
it's public now because the Wall Street Journal got it and put it on the front page. But January a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I had been asked. I became speaker in October 2023, and there were all sorts of big national security concerns and everything going on. And I started requesting a meeting with the president because, you know, I'm kind of old school. I'm a constitutional law guy. Speaker of the House should be able to talk to the president, especially in times of great national interest and calamity. But they wouldn't let me meet with him, and his staff kept giving me excuses. This went on for like 8 or 9 weeks. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, he doesn't have time. What are you talking about? I'm second in line of the presidency. He has time. I need to talk to him. We had, I can't say the classified parts, but we had some big national concerns at the time that I was losing sleep over. Finally, I just went to the Hill press corps and I said, the president is not being allowed to meet with the speaker. There's a problem. So they started putting pressure on him. Long story short, they finally relented. They invited me to the White House. I show up and I realize it's actually an ambush because it's not just me and the president. It's also Kamala Harris, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem, you know, the CIA director, everybody. And then, so I walked in the Oval and, I know what this is. They're going to hotbox the speaker on Ukraine funding. That's what it was. This is probably third week of January. We sit down, we're in the midst of it, and the whole conversation, and I'm going, we don't need to have this conversation. The president reaches over just like this. We're sitting right next to the fireplace in the Oval, and he grabs my arm and he says, the speaker and I just need a couple minutes together. Would y'all just leave us alone? And I looked up on the faces of some of the staff standing around the wall, and they're like, oh, no, he did it. So he called it. He's the commander-in-chief. So everybody leaves, and he and I are standing awkwardly in the middle of the Oval Office, right over the rug by that coffee table. And I said, Mr. President, thanks for the moments. This is very important. I got some big national security things I need to talk to you about that I've heard, and I think you know, and what do we do? But first.
Here it comes. Listen closely.
Real quickly, Mr. President, can I ask you a question? I cannot answer this from my constituents in Louisiana. Sir, why did you pause LNG exports to Europe? Like, I don't understand, liquefied natural gas is in great demand by our allies. Why would you do that? Because you understand, we just talked about Ukraine. You understand you're fueling Vladimir Putin's war machine because they got to get their gas from him, And he looks at me, stunned with this, and he said, I didn't do that. I said, Mr. President, yes, you did. It was an executive order, 3 weeks ago. And he goes, no, I didn't do that. And he's arguing with me. I said, Mr. President, respectfully, could I go out here and ask your secretary to print it out? We'll read it together. You definitely did that. And he goes, oh, you talk about natural gas. Yes, sir. He said, no, you misunderstand. He said, what I did is I signed this thing we're gonna conduct a study on the effects of LNG. I said, no, you're not, sir. You paused it. I know. I have the export terminals in my state. I talked to those people this morning. This is doing massive damage to our economy, national security. It occurred to me, Barry, he was not lying to me. He genuinely did not know what he had signed.
That's it. That's all you need to know. That was a year ago, January. And I asked this on my Sunday show. They were just putting paperwork in front of the President of the United States, telling him it was this while it was that. That's all. It's that simple. Hey, you're signing a paperwork for a study on liquefied natural gas. Just a study, an executive order for that. Oh, okay, no problem. All right, thank you. What do you got next? Hold on. We'll see what else we can get in. Once they find out that he'll sign anything that they tell him it is, he'll just sign it. He never read it. What does that do? Thank you, Michael B. Does that statement nullify all of these pardons? It might. Signing off on stuff, then they're telling him one thing, and he's signing another. At the behest of whom? Who is actually giving the directive to write executive orders and have them signed by the president and then lying to the president about what they contain? That stuff is happening as this administration walks in. And you don't think they're going to find out? Look, no offense. I know there are some people who care about people going to jail or people getting locked up. Forget about that. The most important thing is for truth to exist to come out from behind all the lies. Right now, sunshine is the best disinfectant. Oh, that's right. I'm borrowing from Trump. That's it. The bottom line is we have to expose to the American people. Sure, people are going to call for people's heads. We get it. But now everybody needs to know the truth. We need to get even people on the left so frustrated by what this administration did with pardons that they never allow them back again. Do you understand that? If what Mike Johnson says is true, we had Schumer, Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries. We had people in Congress forcing the president's hand, moving the president's hand, pen to paper, getting their agenda passed, while the president sit there completely not knowing. We have to find out who the shadow government is. And I think we're going to know within the first 100 days. Let's take the first phone call. Let's go to Jeff in Marlboro. How you doing, Jeff? Jeff, you there?
Would that be me?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Would that be me? I'm in Wallingford, not Marlboro.
Oh, my bad. I apologize.
That's okay. You're good. It was funny because I came back from visiting my mother in the hospital and wanted to go watch the inauguration. Mm-hmm. And my wife's just watching all the crime shows. I said, "Don't you want to watch this?" She's like, "No, I have no interest." And then I heard on the way home that he pardoned Fauci and all those people.
Yeah.
And then he pardoned that family. And I mentioned to her, "You understand what he just did?" She goes, "Well, that's his right." I says, "How are you going to feel when he pardons everybody from the January 6th? She goes, "Oh, that's not wrong. That's just wrong. He's going to go to jail for that."
That's all you need to know.
Are you kidding me, honey? I've loved you for years. And what's this crap? God bless her. I love her to pieces, and she loves me. We just walk on separate sides of the road.
Yeah. But again, you know what? That's absolutely fine. I think that you can look at that and say, remember, what does she hold to a higher degree, right? What she holds to a higher degree is the events of January 6th are far more important than giving preemptive pardons to people who she thinks are guilty of nothing, while her party says that a preemptive pardon is a guilty plea. And all you have to do is that's what I say. In my Sunday show, I talk about it. I'll talk about it a little bit more today before I go to a break. But I want to tell you this. You have got to take that information, their own words, and say, if Trump does it, it is criminal. So that means that when you do it, it is as well. And you just got to take that stuff. This is why I tell people to listen to my show. I arm you to the teeth with the information that you need to show these people that they're hypocrites, and it helps them in changing their opinion. That's the only thing I can tell you, Jeff. But I got to go to a break. But I appreciate it. I got to go to a hard break, Bernie. I'm sorry. Let's go to a break, as I said, and we'll be back. More news, more views. We'll get to your phone calls. We got another, 3 hours to do all of this. So get on the phones now, 860-522-WTIC. We'll be back after this.
WTIC News Talk 1080 is your voice for common sense values and real conservative insight. Every weekday from 9 until 6, we're talking about the latest state and national headlines that matter most to you. From Fox News, Brian Kilmeade, mornings 9 till 11, Tom Shattuck 11 till 2, and Reese on the radio 3 till 6. Join us for the news and discussions. And don't keep us all to yourself. Tell a friend. WTIC News Talk 1080, your source for conservative talk. Because Connecticut isn't as blue as it used to be.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Midea 4-piece kitchen appliance suite, now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 1/13 through 1/24. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers.
Lori,
Squibb
we
and
can't
Pfizer.
even play any music anymore.
If you own a timeshare,
One music.
serve a minute from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2120.
Here we go.
800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Usually works with the microphone. We are back. It's Reese on the radio. Let's get right to the phones. We've got Rob, who's in Meriden. How you doing, Rob?
Yeah, hello, Reese. Thanks for picking up my call.
My pleasure, sir.
Yeah, I just talk about the Martin Luther King thing.
Yeah.
Years ago, some guy told me one of his quotes from Martin Luther King, and it's something, it relates to me like Donald Trump. Don't judge a man at his.
Don't judge a man at his. We lost him. Okay. All right. That may have been weird. All right, let's go to Jim is in Naugatuck. How we doing, Jim?
Hello, how are you?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
Absolutely unbelievable, the admission of guilt when you're pardoning your whole family, the January 6th committee, Liz Cheney, Fauci, your brother's wives, your sister, her sister's husband. If that doesn't tell you guilty of everything that we all think I know they need to find out exactly what he gave to China in those documents.
Listen.
They need to find out what classified docs because he had them as a senator.
Right. Well, we don't need to listen. Here's the thing.
Vice president, where you are not allowed to do, it's a felony. It's unbelievable. He's the head of the mob family of the Biden mob family.
Jim, there's a thing
to protect himself.
Jim, here's what I want you to understand. I want you to recognize this, okay? We're never ever going to get, and I warned people of this in the past. We are never going to see anybody do a perp walk down these, but that's not the important part. The important part is that everything that we were told is mis and disinformation on this subject. Everything that we were told, everything we saw right before our eyes, we were told that weren't true. Right? None of it was true, and there was no need for it. And this guy and his administration upheld the rule of law. And now we know that they haven't. So they have nothing. Right now, every one of them are thankful that it happened on Inauguration Day because they will focus on that. And they will try to redirect everybody to talk about the threat of Donald Trump. But guess what? They can't. Joe Biden threw a grenade in their entire industry. And that's the mainstream news media. Legacy media died today because of what Joe Biden did.
Regardless, they need to find out that this cannot go swept under the rug.
Oh no, it won't.
This needs, and I guarantee you. I heard James Comer the other day on some other radio program talking about how we went right to get the bank records. We didn't go to taxes, the tax returns. We went right to the bank records, and all these banks kept telling the FBI and the DOJ during the Biden years that, it was vice president, that there's money laundering going on here, it was direct deposits going to him and his family, that there's something going on here, and it got swept under the rug. That's called the deep state.
Jim, whatever you do, listen to me, Jim, real quick. At the top of the hour, when we come back, I have got the one piece of audio that is the piece de resistance that you do not want to miss. Stand by.
I will be listening.
You got it, sir. All right.
Listen, thank you.
You got it, sir. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll go to Bob in Middletown because I know he's got a
You're going to the top, bro.
Oh, am I going straight to the top? Oh, then I can go to Fred in Middletown. Let's go to Fred in Middletown. How we doing, sir?
Hey, well, so a couple quick things. Nothing I can add to the monologue. That's the place to strike is on these pardons. And yeah, could that have not been deliberate? You never know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they've worked this out, like how to get us to fight each other. The caller who said, his wife they walk on opposite sides. I've had like two brothers like challenge me, like, all right, you love Bin Laden so much, you fight for him and I'll fight for Uncle Sam. Well, actually, well, yeah, he stood up. I was, quoting Bill Maher there, but you can't call a suicide bomber a coward. This is when we thought there were people flying planes as opposed to
I remember.
what we now know that it was drones. But anyway, yeah, he wanted to fight, and I just, stood up and slowly walked away. And, of course, a humble response diverted wrath. That took all the air out of him. And then he started apologizing. A word copying. You've done it a few times. You say far afoot. Now, afoot refers to a thing being in motion, like there's mischief afoot.
It is far afleet.
No, far afield.
Far afield? No, I know.
Yeah, it's far out in left field.
Okay,
there.
far afield. Okay, all right, thank you. Something I've said since I was a kid.
Far afoot. Yeah, far afoot. That'd be like maybe if you walked a long time. And just another thing.
Yes.
You opened up, you dropped 3 words real quick. I wrote them down. I lost them. But you could do that, dude. You can just start slapping words on a thing. You know what I mean? Seriously. Like, everyone does it, and it totally works. Like that kid in the West Side, Bugs Mahoney, or the malapropism Yogi Berra there.
Yeah.
90% of it's 50% mental. And again, yeah, just relax and don't even try. And your game is getting a lot better. You're getting like octaves better. You're hitting like whole new levels. Since I presume to be word cop, I'll presume to throw some.
I don't mind. Listen to me, Fred. You have no idea. This audience makes me better every day. I take no offense, so I love you for it.
We all do our part.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Much appreciated. So anyway, this next audio that I have, and again, it's perfect. I'm going to play at the top of the hour because we've heard everybody else. Adam Kinzinger. We've heard from the news media. We've heard from Adam Schiff. Dr. Fauci says he doesn't believe that he is guilty of anything, so he did not deserve a pardon. We've heard all of that. But the piece I'm going to play for you at the top of the hour, when we come back, is going to amaze you. We'll be back after these messages. It's Reese on Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
23 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford at 3 o'clock. Good afternoon, I'm Bob Brown. WTIC 1080 News. We're digging out from last night's storm, which dumped 4 to 5 inches of snow over the region. Now comes a blast of extremely frigid weather. Roads will be remaining icy for at least a couple of days. No snow melt here in the forecast coming up. President Trump sworn in at noon today as the nation's 47th president in the Capitol Rotunda. Linda Kenyon reporting.
The president says he's back.
I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success.
Honing closely to the concept of American exceptionalism.
Our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world.
Trump also zeroed in on illegal immigration.
And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
Adding he will end the practice of catch and release while restoring the Remain in Mexico policy. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Trump expected to sign at least 200 executive orders. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu congratulating President Trump on his second inauguration as President of the United States and thanked Trump for his efforts in helping free Israeli hostages.
I look forward to working with you to return the remaining hostages, to destroy Hamas's military capabilities and end its political rule in Gaza, and to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The now former President Biden gave a farewell address to his administration.
No president gets to choose the moment they enter history, but they get to choose the team they enter history with. And we chose the best damn team in the world. You are.
He said while they may be leaving office,
We're not leaving the fight.
and he said there's much more to be done.
We heard the inaugural address today. We got a lot more to do.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The heads of the January 6th committee say they're grateful for the decision by President Biden to pardon them, not for breaking the law, but for upholding it. Democratic President pardoning Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the House committee, which investigated the 2001 attack on the Capitol, using the powers of his office in his final hours to guard against potential revenge by President Trump. Trump calling the pardons disgraceful. As we mentioned, the Arctic blast heading our way here in Connecticut. Meantime, an area from the Rockies into the northern plains is expected to see temperatures drop unusually low, up to minus 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Sub-zero wind chills are forecast to reach as far south as Oklahoma and the Tennessee Valley. Icy weather in parts of the deep south today.
I know this is a sensational event because it happens so seldom this far south. Don't chase internet rumors. And if you don't have to get out, then stay at home. Less people on the roads is obviously fewer opportunities for bad things to happen.
Tom Taylor is an emergency management coordinator in Baldwin County, Alabama. Okay, checking the roadways, I should say, on this MLK Day in Norwalk. We have a multi-vehicle crash. This is on Route 15 southbound between exits 40A and 38. The left lane remains closed. In Glastonbury, Route 94 closed at Ridge Road because of a crash, so beware of that there.
WTIC weather. For the rest of our Monday afternoon, hazy sunshine, breezy with blowing and drifting snow, a colder day, the high 27. Clear and very cold tonight with the low down to 9 degrees. Then Tuesday, mostly sunny, even colder, the high only 22. Tuesday night, cloudy and bitterly cold, the low down to 3 above. Mostly sunny, still very cold for us Wednesday, the high of 21. It does begin to break, though, as we head toward the end of the week. On Thursday, partly sunny, not as cold, the high up to 31. Plenty of sunshine to round out the week on Friday with the high of 32. Then partly sunny on Saturday, heading into the weekend, the high right back to 32. Mostly cloudy, a bit milder as we head into Sunday, though. The high moving up to 40 on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
You know, it bears repeating that tomorrow's high is only going to be 15 to 20 degrees. And tomorrow night's low here in Connecticut expected to get down to about 0. And you could bet that wind chills are going to be well below 0 in many parts of Connecticut. So do take care. Any pets that you have, please keep them indoors. Want to watch out and check in on your neighbor from time to time. Men's college basketball, UConn hosting Butler tomorrow night. UConn women's team taking on Villanova Wednesday night. NFL Conference Championship next Sunday. Eagles host the Commanders. They're the early game at 3 o'clock. And the Chiefs host the Bills at 6:30. Again, the Eagles hosting the Commanders, that game at 3 o'clock. Down to 23 degrees and partly cloudy skies in Hartford. It's going to get downright cold. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, basketball fans. It's Liam McNeely, your new freshman recruit. On the court, I know the importance of teamwork. It's not just about one player. It's about the whole team working together to achieve victory. That's why I trust the law firm of Brown, Pandeiros, and Scott. With them, you're not just getting one lawyer, you're getting a law firm with a team of experienced professionals dedicated to your success. They collaborate, strategize, and fight for you every step of the way. Choose the firm that knows the value of teamwork. Visit bpslawyers.com. They're here to win for you.
Worried about the Trump tariffs? At Columbia Implant Center, our prices won't go up. We produce all dentures, crowns, and implants in-house in our own digital lab. Columbia Implant Center. One day, same day, 7 days a week. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding changes in our lives. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health.
And if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you
You
back
going to the
your
top of the
sex
hour
drive,
again?
because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90.
What happened?
I said you want to do top of the
You might
hour
even
again?
find you're performing like you haven't.
Oh, you want to do the same thing?
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Mark, and my family's from Bristol. Allaire Elder Law met my #1 goal when I decided to work with them, to make sure my parents and their assets were protected legally.
All right, Ensign.
Their time together and not worry about becoming one of the Title 19 horror stories, and our family cannot thank them enough.
Find out more at allaireelderlaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Hey, yo! Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio.
Reese is on the radio. Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, baby. And we are back. Top of the hour on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. I am your humble host, Reese on the radio, and it is Inauguration Day and Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, or the observation thereof. And we will get to the I Have an Idea speech. It is an important speech for today, not just being Inauguration Day, but Dr. Martin Luther King's Day as well. So be prepared for that. It's coming up in the next hour, so I hope that you'll join me for that. John Beckman just joined us. He's singing Happy Days Are Here Again. Craig J. and Michael B. are already in the chat room letting me know, yes, you guys are on it just like I am on it. I want to show you guys something that is on online right now. Everywhere it is being published. And you need to look at it yourself. If you're watching us on ReeseOnTheRadio.com and on all the social media sites, I want you to look at what you are reading there as soon as that Chiron gets out of the way, unfortunately. But what you're looking at is Burdick v. United States, 236 U.S. 79. Again, Burdick v. United States, 236 U.S. 79. This is from 1915. It reads, quote, "There are substantial differences between legislative immunity and a pardon. The latter, a pardon, carries an imputation of guilt and acceptance of a confession of it, while the former is a non-committal and tantamount to silence of the witness." I'll read it again for you, those of you who lost it. Burdick v. United States, 236 U.S. 79. Look it up. There are substantial differences between legislative immunity and a pardon. The latter, the pardon, carries an imputation of guilt and acceptance of a confession of it, while the former is non-committal and tantamount to silence of the witness. So, as we told you, Joe Biden offering a pardon to anyone is an admission of guilt via Burdick v. United States. But I promised you there was a piece de resistance, and that is the man himself, Joseph R. Biden Jr., on pardoning family members preemptively.
President Trump is reportedly considering a wave of preemptive pardons. Does this concern you? All these preemptive pardons?
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. You're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons. Nor are you going to see in our administration the approach to making policy by tweets. It's just going to be a totally different way in which we approach the justice system.
I'm afraid not. So look, as I said before, folks, spare me. All that nonsense that you heard over and over again, we have the words out of the president's mouth. Everything he says, everything he is a total, complete lie. A complete lie. It doesn't matter if anyone goes to jail. It doesn't matter if anyone is perp walked. Anyone, anywhere where they carried water for this administration, anything that they say right now, this moment forward, is suspect. It's made of nothing. It's made of sand, dirt, it's oxygen even. It doesn't even deserve oxygen. Joe Biden sent everybody a big giant FU in the mail. The people who voted against him and the people who voted for him. He told all of them, you voted for me, you stood, and then you turned against me? That's what he did. The news media, who even when the jig was up, when everybody knew that this man was absolutely out of sorts, they still do to this day, on CNN and MSNBC and every other mainstream media outlet, have done everything to make that man walk away with dignity. He still told them, all of it, nothing. It meant nothing. And that's where we are. Let's go to Chip in Coventry. How we doing, Chip?
Reese, here we go. It's fun to stay at the Y.
I'm not going to lie. That band was out in the 70s, and I'm not going to lie, the lead singer still sounds pretty good.
Listen, I'm a little older than you, and I think we talked about this real quickly. I grew up, I tell people I'm a recovering disco addict, but when the Village People came out, I was at the clubs, I can't name them, the Twilight Room and whatever. I was a club freak, and I still love. But he made that song come back like in volumes. It's like, I don't know, maybe he has to pay them, what do you call that?
A royalty?
I can't think of the word.
A royalty.
Yeah, royalty.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll get to my 2 points because you are worth waiting for, my friend, as I sit in my car here.
No problem.
How? No. I really mean that. You're a cool dude. I can't wait till we meet for coffee. You're mine. I'm trying. How can capital F, former, thank God, I won't even say President Biden, how can he, legally parole all those people, number one, and can Mr. Donald J. Trump, can he somehow go after, the Faucis and especially the Biden family? Oh, and Hunter, I don't know. I
think there's and I know what you're getting at. Is there something constitutionally that can be done to question these pardons? Well, many people in Congress and in the Senate have tried to have laws passed. In fact, Dick Blumenthal, our very own, has also done that. He's tried to have legislation passed against Donald Trump back in 2020 to prevent him from doing things just like this, which he has been completely silent about. By the way, somebody check Dick Blumenthal or Chris Murphy's Twitter handle and see whether or not they've said anything about these commutations, because I'm sure there's nothing there. But yes, Dick Blumenthal very much openly said he was trying to challenge the pardons of the President of the United States. And again, this is one of those things where they get to duck under the cover of, don't worry, we'll give Donald Trump his honeymoon and we'll give him his celebrations and hopefully everyone will forget tomorrow. We're not forgetting. Because listen, now we have the power to go after them. But listen, here's the most important part. Forget about the prison terms or the prison or the criminality of what they've done and whether or not they should be charged. There's only one thing that destroys Democrats, liberals, leftists, and yahoos, and that is the truth. The truth. We need every American person. Remember, it's not about convincing CNN that it's the truth or MSNBC or anybody else of the truth. We need to get the American people to know that here's what they did right either behind your backs or right in front of your face, and this is what we fought for, and this is why you electing us was the most important thing, so that this can never happen again. And once that's exposed, once every person on this green earth knows it, those people would never be elected to dog catcher, pretty much President of the United States. That's all it is. That's all we need to do. You need to get them out of elected power. And you know what? Look, we have tape of Chuck Schumer saying that, family pardons is a no. I would say, no, you can't do it. Well, Chuck Schumer, the next time you go on television, anything you talk about must be met with, hey, what about this? And he's got to say, I'm against it and it was wrong and I can't believe the president done it. Now they have to throw Biden under the bus or they have to go into hiding. Come on, what else do they got, Chip? What do they have to do? Every one of them have to answer for this who stood by the president and said he wouldn't do it. Now he's done it. How do they not go into hiding? How can they show themselves in polite society?
Corruption at its best.
Exactly.
Last thing, did you see when the camera, it didn't zoom in on Kamala. I can't remember Kamala. Did you see that sour look on her face when everyone was standing up, and I know that some of the guys who hate Trump or women, I was looking at her. I'm like, I wish I could read her mind while Joe Biden was sleeping. I think he was sleeping with a can of Red Bull.
Can you imagine?
Maybe it was just me.
I look at Kamala Harris saying, imagine you have to show up at the victory party of the guy who beat you. And that's all it is. I mean, you have to show up there because it's protocol. And there's something sinking in you that says to yourself, you know all that nonsense about the peaceful transfer of power. Gosh, I'm only here because I'm here because I lost, but now I have to put on a brave face and I can't help myself. I'm scouring, I'm angry, I'm ticked off. By the way, if you thought that was bad, watch the video again and take a very, very good look at the one woman that I love looking at when Donald Trump is winning, and that is Hillary Rodham Clinton. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Does her scour look horrible having to watch that man who is literally just beating the pants off them in so many ways, for her to have to sit there and watch him? It is the most beautiful thing in the world. And again, I don't mean to rub it in their faces, but you know what? Criminality, cruelty, and everything else under the sun deserves exactly the look that we got today from them. It deserves it.
Yeah, karma.
You know what? Again, you know what? They're going to be better for it. If they're smart, they'll just go away. Yeah. They'll just go away, because, like I said, Donald Trump, and they know it too. Donald Trump is going to spend this administration doing two things: making sure that he can keep up to his promises. I'm sure he won't be able to keep them all, but he's going to try to keep them all. But the other is exposing everything he said on that stage he was going to do, and that is expose this nonsense and reveal it to the American people that this what was done against their will. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I look forward to every day when he does it. So I thank you, buddy. Thank you for calling.
I got Trump's back.
Yeah, of course. And we all do. And we all do. Hey, look, I never said it. This is the first time. It's January 20th, 2025, and I'm now officially calling myself a MAGA guy. And I've never been.
He reminds me of, I'm sorry. No, real quickly. I don't know why. I was only 2 years old when JFK was assassinated. But you know what? Donald Trump is right up there. As far as popularity goes,
The most consequential president of the 21st century.
Exactly.
Is exactly who he is.
God bless America.
Thank you, man. You got it. I listen. It's something that needs to be said, and it needs repeating. Every part of what we are about to witness going forward, no matter what Democrats do to get in the way, what is going to happen in this administration is exposure. That's all it's going to be. It's not about revenge. See, that's the thing that Democrats are so, he's going to get revenge. He's going to get revenge. They never paid attention to exposure. And that's all the American people want. They want to look behind the curtain. And I say this to African-American listeners who do listen to this program. And maybe you share it with your friends or talk to your friends about Reese on the radio, the radical turncoat of the black community, which I'm happy to be, by the way. I'm very, very happy to be. F your culture. Let me just say it this way. When everything that you believed about government, every deep, shady shenanigan you've ever thought about government, everything you've theorized, that the government don't want you to know, and the government's got secrets, and the government's doing this behind your back. Imagine a president who comes up to you and says, hey, you want to peek behind the curtain? I'll do better than that. I'll just take the curtains down and allow you to peer right in. Because that's what's about to happen. This guy, and the reason why they never wanted him there is because he is an outsider. And they knew that if an outsider who wasn't of the Washington ilk got inside, if he got to look inside, he would know, oh my goodness, if they only knew. Because Donald Trump has an allegiance to people, not government. He's dealt with governments. He's fought against government. He's tussled with government as a businessman. He knows what they do to businesses. They steal wealth. They don't create it. That guy is now in the White House. He is in those ivory towers. And now he knows what they did to him. Remember, they did everything to him. They tried to destroy him. Hell, they tried to kill him. And now he's behind those walls and those curtains, and he's got access to it all. And he's bringing in a team of people who are going to do exactly that. Expose all of it to the American people. Even at the risk of having the entire country, if not the world, have no faith in the administrative state. And the beauty of that is that he will hold the government accountable to be responsible to the people. He'll restore it to its founding. That's all we want. I don't need a perp walk. I don't need an indictment. I don't need a courthouse. I need truth. Don't you? In a world where everything was misinformation and disinformation and this and that, and you're not telling the truth, and, corrupting free speech or weaponizing free speech and all of that, wouldn't you just want the truth? Isn't that what you want? You want everyone that you've ever tried to talk to or convince. Don't you just want the truth so then it's undeniable? And you can just put your hands up and say, see, we told you. They'll never be back in power. Chris Murphy talks about how he wants to change the Democrat Party. We're going to help him. We're going to help him change the Democrat Party by exposing them. You too, Chris. If I were you, I'd join the team. I wouldn't fight it. I'd join the resistance. That's right. The true resistance against bureaucracy and a really, really radical government. It's going to be impressive. I'm going to have a blast watching it every day. It's so good to be here. God, it's so good to be here. It's just a wonderful and a beautiful day, isn't it? Isn't it a beautiful day? Liberals, it's your day too. Enjoy. Enjoy. Oh, they're mad. I know they're mad. It's okay. It's all right. We're going to bring them joy. When we come back, I have an idea. A speech by Reese on the radio. You don't want to miss it. Stick around. We'll be back after this. Okay, maybe after that.
The pro football playoff season is here, and there's one place to be. The BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM.
Your home for wagertainment, giving you the sharpest insights and bringing on expert guest analysis.
From point spreads to props, live betting to futures, BetQL has you covered every step of the way with wall-to-wall coverage on the road to the championship in New Orleans.
Listen live on the BetQL Network, presented by BetMGM on the free Odyssey app and twitch.tv/BetQL or YouTube at Odyssey Sports.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
And now, a WTIC news update.
22 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford at 3:30. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Brown. WTIC 1080 News. A blast of really cold weather over the region. Temperatures, for the most part, remaining in the teens for Tuesday. The forecast coming up. President Trump sworn in at noon today as the nation's 47th president inside the Capitol Rotunda. Just too cold outside for the ceremony. Trump serving in his second non-consecutive term in the White House.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer.
Trump administration ending use of a border app called CBP, one which allows nearly 1 million people to legally enter the United States with eligibility to work. Trump expected to sign at least 200 executive actions. Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebrations nationwide. King's former congregation in Atlanta with a 70-member choir's rendition of Hallelujah and stern words from his youngest daughter warning against anti-woke rhetoric. Stock market closed today because of MLK Day.
WTIC weather.
Hazy sunshine for the rest of our Monday afternoon. It'll be breezy with blowing and drifting snow. Colder, the high 27. Clear and quite cold tonight with the low down to 9 above. Then Tuesday, mostly sunny, quite a cold day, the high only 22. bitterly cold for Tuesday night, the high down to 3 above. Then mostly sunny, still quite cold Wednesday, the high of 21. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
23 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
At California Psychics, we know that when you're still looking for love, Valentine's Day sucks. Every restaurant is fully booked, even the average ones. Suddenly all chocolates are heart-shaped. And all the PDA. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So you could be flaunting your love life in public real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything, online to hybrid courses, lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
1 minute.
Don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080, WTIC.
We're back. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080, WTIC. And I thought about this long and hard, folks. And that is, look, Dr. Martin Luther King, one of my, I want to say, biggest heroes growing up. I thought that his I Have a Dream speech is not just inspiring, but I think that it's something that is timeless. So it broke my heart knowing that I could not play pieces of it. And I thought about other ways to deal with this. Maybe I'll do something funny. I remember I laughed out loud when I heard that we couldn't play it. I was like, whew, I've broken bread with Martin Luther King Jr. III, or Martin Luther King III. I've broken bread with him. I have. I'll never forget. I can tell you the date. It was August 26th, 2001, at Mr. Chow's. And I was sitting right across from him. Couldn't believe it. That Martin Luther King III? Wow. So to find out this news that we couldn't play that, it just blew my mind. I thought that speech was for all of us. I mean, he gave it in Washington, public to everyone, and then to know that you couldn't rebroadcast it or play it without being sued. I felt like, with the good Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., would he accept that? Why would anybody do that? So I started to think about it. I was like, oh, you know what? I could clown it. I can make fun of it. But you know what? I don't want to disrespect Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but I do want to disrespect his family. Not in a way that you would think. It's not about calling them names or anything. I just find it a little despicable. That's just my view. That you wouldn't allow us to share that without getting a cut. And then you talk about undisclosed civil rights organizations. So I thought about it. I have an idea. That's what we'll call it. The I have an idea speech. Let me throw up my microphone. Volume a little. There we go. I have an idea. Do you think we could do away with civil rights organizations altogether? It's abundantly clear these organizations serve no purpose. I mean, the NAACP gave their Person of the Year award to former Clippers owner Donald Sterling. Not once, but twice. The NAACP had a race interloper, Rachel Dolezal, as its Spokane, Washington president. Isn't that a joke? I have an idea. Can we ever get the NAACP to actually do something that's good of people or for people? Or can we at least get them to remove the word colored from their title? I have never yet to hear the words, this endowment was provided by the generous donation of the NAACP. Yes, this means that they keep the money for themselves. I have an idea. Let's do away with the litmus test of who lives matter most or more. See, if we can do away with having white people legitimize a person's importance through giving them meaningless awards, jobs, or commendations for being a color, gender, or sexual orientation. Let's all agree that diversity is not defined by the black, transgendered, left-handed, pregnant, abortionist, homosexual who agrees with every leftist. I have an idea. Let's agree that words and things have meanings, that all speech is free, that the Constitution is not breathing. Breaking the law means the thing that you did is illegal. That mothers are not birthing people or bleeders. There are two genders. Not there are only, there are two genders. There is only the truth. Anything else is an interpretation of a point of view. Tolerance means being tolerant of the things that you disagree with. I have an idea. Let's accept that the use of the terms mis and disinformation are words used to cover up the truth. Let's just use the word lies instead. I have an idea. If you really hate this country, just say so. You don't have to leave. But you have to tell us the country that's better. If you think that we're slaves or slavery exists in this country, or you think that women are targeted and have no rights, can you please give the same effort towards real slaves and real oppressed women around the globe? We'd like to see some consistency. This goes for the gay community that only attacks Christians and Catholics about gay rights. We'd like to see you at some more mosques and synagogues as well. Oh, pay no attention to the machetes. I have an idea. Can transgender women compete in male sports to finally prove that women can compete in male sports? Get it? Can transgender women compete in male sports and prove that women can compete in male sports? Then we can finally get women out of the WNBA and get them into the NBA. Until then, I don't want to hear it. It's just an idea. And finally, I have an idea. Let's commit to calling a spade a spade. Let's just tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Let's love the country, love each other. Stop attacking one another because we disagree. Let's care about the things that are important and stop losing our ish about the things that aren't. TikTok. For those of you who are losing your minds about it, let me explain something to you. I have an idea. If you were talking about politics after your TikTok feed got banned, we want you to continue talking about it now. We seem to see that a bunch of people who were doing silly dances and talking about silly trends all of a sudden became politically active about the social media site going down when there's absolutely no references to your political acumen during the time that it was running. See, the truth is, you wanted the right to be silly, and you understood that you needed Congress or you needed government in order to do those things for you. Now you're politically active. Congratulations. But I have an idea. How about we stop pretending? How about we stop hurting one another? How about we start caring about the country that we love and doing what we can to rebuild it instead of transforming it? It's just an idea. That's it. We'll go to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. What's up, Wall Street?
Yeah, hi. A few things I'd like to get out there. I watched everything until a few minutes ago, since 10 this morning. Biden came out as he was going in 15 minutes before noon. He signed all those pardons for his crime family. I think 15 people in his crime family in total. But what do you think Chris Murphy thinks? I don't think he was on the pardon list.
I don't think he was.
Vulnerable now, isn't he?
Well, what was he a part of?
Well, the Ukraine money.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were saying he was on the January 6th committee, because I'm like, I didn't see him on the January 6th committee. The only people who benefited from that are people in the January 6th committee. I don't think Chris Murphy had anything to do with that. I'm actually going to his I'm going to his Twitter feed right now and seeing if he's said anything other than how he's going to resist the presidency of Donald Trump. That's probably about it.
Well, the thing is, he has tens of millions, just like Biden. Where did he get all the millions and millions in multiple houses? Maybe he has 20 million versus Biden's 300 million, the family, but it's still a lot of money that's unaccounted for. And if they want to get to the missing money that's been appropriated to the Ukraine time and time again, and he made all those trips out to the Ukraine earlier in the Biden administration to solidify the money train, I think he's vulnerable. If they really, put an investigation into the Ukraine money, I think he's going to be right in there.
I don't think, I think that, look, I know that everybody wants their pound of flesh. I totally get it. All right. But, once we start putting that out into the world and we don't get it, then it becomes the disappointment campaign. Then it's like, oh, man, he didn't go out there and get anybody. He didn't get a pound of flesh. Nobody got arrested. Once you put that out there, then he has to do those things. He hasn't said that he's going after anyone. He hasn't said that he's going to put anybody behind bars. He's made it clear that what was done to him was weaponization, and all it needs to be is exposed. And again, that is the best revenge, if you will, that he can get, is exposing it to the American people. That's all.
He's leaving it. He's leaving it up to the new Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel.
Yep.
Whatever investigations they want to start to get to the bottom of all this stuff. I would think that Ukraine would be one of the top 5 that they check out. That's all I'm saying. And Reese, you work very hard for what you make. I think you should be making a lot more, and you should be nationally syndicated. But let's say this: whatever you make, why should you be relegated to one house and living, modestly? Maybe you'll be living a little bit.
I don't want to live in too many houses, to be honest with you. The upkeep on one is enough.
Why should you and all hardworking Americans look at the Biden crime family and people like Chris Murphy, and they have all these millions and millions because they just sold influence? No, they're just political hacks.
Here's what they're going to do.
Nothing to the table. Why should they deserve all this?
Joe.
And you, me, and all the other people just watch from afar.
No. Listen to me. The first rule of this game, let me tell you this, and this is important, is what I call reckless hate. And it was coined by a former colleague of mine. Reckless hate. I do not, and I refuse to recklessly hate somebody for whatever gains they got, be they ill-gotten or whatever. I'm just not of it. I'm just not about it. And nor should we be. That should never be the premise of which we seek truth. Right? It's because Chris Murphy's got a couple of houses, or he got money from Ukraine, blah, blah. That should never be the impetus of why we do anything. What we should be doing it from is generally from the place of getting the truth to the people and making sure that they are held accountable. Not because we're angry, not because we're jealous, not because we're envious. It should always be because it's the rule of law and we should apply it. If somebody did something wrong, we make sure that we get to the bottom of it and we never relent. But we can't do it under this, we should be upset. No. Don't be upset. Being angry never got anybody anything. And I remember I'll go back to the old line. Remember, anger is like, drinking poison and expecting it to affect your enemy. It never works. It only hurts you. That's the way I look at it. Let me move on, Joe. Let's go to Adam, who's in East Hartford. How we doing, Adam?
Hey, I just want to say I was at an event on the shoreline today in New Haven. They had a Trump inaugural event. I had to catch it on the radio. I had a little snow removal to do, but I was hoping I'd see Amy Borden there, but she can't make everything, so unfortunately she wasn't there, but tell her I send my regards,
Okay, absolutely. What was...
I do agree with you about the DEI that, we want to, there's people, how you're a black man, but you do not have a chip on your shoulder.
Not one.
There's a lot of racism. You're a great man, and you have no chip on your shoulder, right?
Never.
But I don't like when the people take the behavior of somebody, like the gay or the LGBT, and try to compare those rights to the rights
of civil rights movement. Oh yeah, totally. No, it's. Hold on, I got to get to that, but I got to take a break. Adam, thank you for that. I will address that on the next part of the show. You got it, boss. Let me take a break. We got to come back. That's a great line. That whole using the LGBTQ community, comparing it to the civil rights movement, that one I always thought was funny. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, stick around. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
When you're still looking for love, Valentine's Day sucks. Every restaurant is fully booked. Suddenly, all chocolates are heart-shaped, and all the PDA. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Tom Shattuck here with a question. Was your goal to lose weight this year? If so, are you already down 16 pounds? That's a serious question because I dropped 16 pounds my first 3 weeks alone with Awaken 180 weight loss. That's how fast the weight can fall off when you choose the solution for weight loss. Each week you look at the scale and the number goes down and down. Every morning you wake up, you feel better and better. For me, I had huge spurts of energy. I still do. And my anxiety is totally gone. Experiencing those results, and given how easily Awaken 180 was, there was no way I wouldn't reach my goal, and I did. And so did my wife, Alice. She dropped 35 pounds. If you add it up between us, that's 115 pounds combined, thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the only weight loss program I know that puts their money where their mouth is. They're so confident in your success, they offer free support for life. Life, a one-time investment in yourself for a lifetime of benefits. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey everyone. The guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Trust Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO. 10% off. That's trustandwill.com. Offer code RADIO. Trust Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
We're back. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. It is a pleasure to have you here. We're doing things a little different because Roland has actually changed the intro to the show. So I'm actually I wasn't expecting it to sound the way that it did, but it sounds fantastic. And I got to give it up to my homie, Emmy Award winning. I'm gonna say it until it drives you nuts. But yeah, we're gonna, again, it's gonna be fantastic. We got more news and more views to get into. I've got to start playing a lot of other sound bites that's in there. We got the stupidest thing that I read today. Unfortunately, you already know what it is, and it's about the Biden pardons. All of that stuff's going on, and of course, I want to talk about in the next hour, and taking your phone calls. What did you think of Donald Trump's speech at inauguration? And it was something I told you would happen. And that was, it was no longer playing games. It was going to be kind of in your face, but not for the sake of being in your face. That what the president was going to do was sort of campaigny, but sort of talking about the administration while it's at there. Remember, he's never had his predecessors as an audience. He never had them there, but now they had to sit there and listen to him. Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, all of them had to sit there while he stood on stage with them feet away while he talked about their incompetence, about what that administration did to you. When he was doing it on television, they could say, like anyone else, you can ignore it. I can't watch this. I'm not listening to that guy, blah, blah, blah. And then I can go on the air and pretend I watched it and then admonish him for it. But not this time. Donald Trump made sure, and as Michael B. said, he drove the knife deeper just by doing what we asked him to do. That's all he did, was go there and tell them. And he told them to their face what they did, what they were responsible for. And I love the way that he took a nice little stab at Barack Hussein Obama. I love that one, especially when he called out the African American community, saying to them, thank you for your vote. That was so epic. And I think that alone is a soundbite for the ages, saying to them that they were going to be treated with the respect of everyone in the country. There was no longer going to be about DEI and that stuff, that those American citizens are American citizens too. It was nice to watch the young people who were there. As he went to the second speech, that he went out there talking about how young and how beautiful those people were. It was nice to see young people support this president. It's going to be a different day, and every day is going to be interesting. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited for you. If you want to call it, hey, if you're hating today, we love the hating. If you don't think that anything's going to happen, pick up the phone, 860-522-WTIC. Hey, if you're on the left and you're glad this administration has gone bye-bye, you were disappointed by it, that's fine too. All right, just give us a call. Let's get our first check of the afternoon traffic with our good friend, Mark Christopher at the BPS Traffic Center, your inauguration traffic center.
That's right. That's right. Indoors today.
That's right. What are we doing on the roads, Mark?
Well, Reese, right now, pretty good ride through the Hartford area. Not seeing any major problems. If you're traveling southbound 91, look for delays 33 down to 32 AMB. A little slow again down in Marion from exit 19 down to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up in Windsor. Westbound 84 a little tight, Bulkley Bridge out to 48 Asylum. Eastbound 84 good ride, Farmington to Vernon. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound a little tight, Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Waterbury westbound 84 some slow traffic 25 to 22 on the westbound side of 84. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 8 to 9 in Newtown. If you are traveling southbound 95 New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. We have an accident southbound on the Merritt Parkway in Stratford, and that's between exit 53 and 52. Right lane block there, delays are back to 54 in Milford behind it. Also a road closure in Glastonbury. Route 94 is shut down between Ridge Road and Pembroke Terrace because of a one-vehicle accident reported there. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut, from breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. WTIC weather.
Hazy sunshine for the rest of our Monday afternoon. It'll be breezy with blowing and drifting snow. Colder, the high 27. Clear and quite cold tonight with the low down to 9 above. Then Tuesday, mostly sunny. Quite a cold day, the high only 22. Bitterly cold for Tuesday night, the high down to 3 above. Then mostly sunny, still quite cold Wednesday, the high of 21. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC weather.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
22 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford at 4 o'clock. Good afternoon, I'm Bob Brown. WTIC 1080 News. The cleanup continues after 4 to 5 inches of snow fell over the region. Now comes a blast of extremely frigid weather. Roads are icy. Take it slow. The forecast coming up. President Trump sworn in at noon today as the nation's 47th president in the Capitol Rotunda, just too cold outside.
The president said he would marshal the powers of his cabinet members
to defeat what was record inflation.
Trump also vowed to impose major tariffs on foreign goods entering the U.S.
For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues.
He says it will bring massive amounts of money into the U.S. Treasury. Economists say it will lead to massive price hikes for average Americans. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
The economy is one of President Trump's central themes during his inaugural address.
the prospect of pardons for possible cop killers and the threat of reprisal or retribution against the investigators of January 6th is absolutely sickening.
That was Democratic Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal calling Trump's speech divisive and grievance-filled. He's also critical of remarks Trump made to supporters afterward, again promising to pardon those who attacked the Capitol on January 6, 2021. As we mentioned, the economy was one of President Trump's central themes in his inaugural address.
The president said he would marshal the powers of his cabinet members
to defeat what was record inflation.
Trump also vowed to impose major tariffs on foreign goods entering the U.S.
For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues.
He says it will bring massive amounts of money into the U.S. Treasury. Economists say it will lead to massive price hikes for average Americans. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Latest style at the inauguration?
First Lady Melania Trump was in a dark suit with a wide-brimmed hat. And while most of the attendees wore red, white, and blue, Ivanka Trump bucked the trend in a green jewel-tone dress and beret.
Heads of the January 6th committee say they're grateful for the decision by President Biden to pardon them, and not for breaking the law, but for upholding it. The Democratic president pardoning Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the House committee which investigated the 2001 attack on the Capitol. Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal alluding to that just a short time ago. Using the powers of his office, Biden, in the final hours of his in his office today, he says he wants to guard against potential revenge by President Trump. Trump calling the pardons disgraceful. Paul Abadi, I should say, who is the FBI's longtime deputy director, had been expected to replace Director Christopher Wray on an acting basis. Well, he's retiring from the Bureau. It's unclear who will run the FBI while Senate confirmation proceedings get underway for Kash Patel, who is Donald Trump's pick for FBI director. The law finally catching up with two New Britain residents suspected of kidnapping a woman and making her withdraw money from her account. Police in Newington arresting 37-year-old Amanda D. Tommaso and 41-year-old Tyrone Graham. Investigators say back on October 28th, they were sent to Stop and Shop on Fenn Road to check the welfare of a woman. After speaking to the woman, they said they determined that she had been held against her will. The National College Football Championship game tonight, Notre Dame and Ohio State. WTIC 1080 News Time, 4:04.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings. Program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-419-2387. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 419-2387. 800-419-2387. 800-419-2387.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Another hour, another 50 cents after taxes. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC. No need to go to the stupidest thing that I read today. We all know the stupidest thing that we read today was that we saw these pardons of the Biden family. We'll get into those and into very, very, detailed specificity to find out all of this stuff that's going on with those pardons, with a lot of people doing it. And I told you this before, that what they are going to try to pay attention to, and that is the media, is everything about the inauguration, which they should, don't get me wrong, and do whatever they can. Right now, I think, what's his name? What's that child's name? He looks so weird. That's his name, Daniel Dale. It's like a 5-year-old kid with glasses on. He looks like Milhouse from The Simpsons. They always have him on as the fact checker for CNN. He is on television now talking about everything that was in Donald Trump's speech that was false, or every false heard speech. Listen, CNN, it doesn't matter. I've got a story that's coming up in a little bit that is going to blow your mind. Mediaite actually reported this. And if you know anything about the Mediaite website, it is a far-left Dan Abrams of News Nation website. It is designed to ridicule anyone on the right, conservative, Republican, whatever. And they have like some smatterings of conservative writers in the on the outlet. But I want you to hear about this article that they posted, and it is insane because I hear people talking about the mainstream media all the time. The mainstream media, the mainstream media, the mainstream media. Folks, they are of no consequence. This story, and in fact, maybe I'll link it. I should link it so you can see it. No one's watching them. They don't exist anywhere in the minds of people. Maybe online, but not on television. And I don't even know how to put it. It's so bad. It's almost disgusting. I'm surprised that people in the mainstream news media don't just quit because no one's watching them. We'll get to that in a second, but stick around for that. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell up in Winter. Westbound 84 just a little tight from the Bulkley Bridge of 48 Asylum Street. Eastbound 84, no problems. Farmington through downtown Hartford out into the Vernon exits. 291, 384, okay. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Middletown 9 northbound's a little slow as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. Southbound 91, you've got delays from 19 down to 17 in Meriden. If you're heading toward Waterbury right now, some sluggish traffic from 25 up to the Mixmaster on the westbound side of 84. Also a little sluggish now as you move from exit 8 in Danbury out to exit 9 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, I should say northbound Parkway, just north of the West Rock Tunnel. Looks like we have an accident there. Delays are back to exit 59. Behind that, also an accident southbound now on the Merritt Parkway down between exit 53 and exit 52. The right lane is blocked there. Delays are back to exit 54. Behind that, then we have a road closure in Glastonbury right now. Route 94 is shut down between Ridge Road and Pembroke Terrace because of a one-vehicle accident reported there. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
As we make our way through tonight, clear and very cold, the low down to 9 above, then mostly sunny and remaining cold as we hit through the day on Tuesday, the high 23. Cloudy and cold for Tuesday night. Once again, bitterly cold, the low down to 4 above, mostly sunny and still cold Wednesday, the high 23. Partly sunny, not as cold finally on Thursday with the high of 31. Currently 19 in Waterbury. It's 27 in New Haven, 23 in New London, and 21 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Drinking water is supposed to be odorless and colorless. If yours isn't, it probably doesn't taste good either. Joe the Plumber will test your water, then recommend the right water treatment systems or filters. That's something we can all raise a glass to. Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
While the new administration may not get us the Panama Canal back, you can always get a root canal at Columbia Implant Center. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Call 860-743-1898 or visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Hi, this is Jerry Brooks, and today I'd like to tell you about Twilight Wish of Connecticut. We've partnered with NBC Connecticut and Telemundo and WTIC News Talk 1080 to provide Connecticut seniors with special wishes. If you know someone who's a Connecticut resident and 65 or older, nominate your senior at twilightwishct.org. That's twilightwishct.org. We're making our world a nicer place to age, one Twilight Wish at a time.
Hey everyone,
One minute.
The guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. Few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. So here was the last of the, I guess, the pardons that Joe Biden could give out. Just moments before Donald Trump took the oath of office. And it reads, James B. Biden, Sarah Jones Biden, Valerie Biden Owens, John T. Owens, and Francis W. Biden. And this is an executive grant of clemency. And you can be furious about it at the same time. That's the part that I don't get, is that everybody's furious about it but knew it was happening, right? It's like being surprised at a horror movie. I was like, oh, it's a horror movie. They're killing people in the horror film? Yes. A corrupt Joe Biden that we know. We watched 4 years of this. A corrupt Joe Biden who looked right into the camera talking to Scott Paley on 60 Minutes. What did you think when you learned the former president had all of these classified documents? Oh, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's unconscionable. Dun, 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 dun. President Joe Biden has classified documents from the 70s. So, again, what is all the surprise about? There's nothing to be surprised about. And the mainstream media, forget about them. Their credibility is shot. And again, I want this to be the death knell. So I saw this story in a random act of journalism on Mediaite. Here's the headline. Just how dominant is Fox News? It aired every one of the top 500 most watched cable news shows since the election. Since the election. The top 500 shows based upon ratings. While the term mainstream media is often used as shorthand by conservative pundits as a way to talk about what they see as liberal bias in legacy media, the term misses the mark by a vast margin. That's because the most influential outlet in the political media ecosystem offers a decidedly conservative and pro-Trump point of view, Fox News. Since the 2024 election took place on November 5th, the top 500 most watched cable news shows aired on Fox News, revealing just how dominant a voice it has become in U.S. politics. The first non-Fox News show to show up on the cable news rating from November 6th to January 16th is CNN's Election Day America, which showed up at the spot of 507 on the 500 list. According to Nielsen, Fox News commanded the top 400 cable telecasts in December. That's the 400 top airings of all cable for December. Another network doesn't appear on the ranker until 401. That spot went to MSNBC's The Rachel Maddow Show. And if you look at the post-election through the most current ratings as of late last week, Fox News had each of the 500 top cable news telecasts in total viewers. The top 25 listed shows give a clear indication the preferences of the American cable news viewer. Who are those shows? Try this on for size. Fox News Democracy 2024, The Five, Jesse Waters, Special Report with Brett Baer. Fox News Democracy 2024, The Five, Hannity, Jesse Waters, The Ingram Angle, America's Newsroom, Gutfeld, The Five, America's Newsroom, The Faulkner Focus, The Five, Outnumbered, The Five, Jesse Waters Primetime. These are the last of the 25. The Five, The Five, The Five, The Five, The Five. The mainstream news media, no one is watching. They aren't to be trusted, and they are not being trusted at all. This year is the year that mainstream or legacy media, as it were, dies. Dies. Hear anybody report about the Jake Tapper defamation suit? Nothing. No one's reporting on it. Why? Because it isn't important. We haven't even gotten to the punitive damages after the $5 million was awarded to the young man. I think it's Zachary. His last name escaped me. Zachary Young. We haven't heard the last of that. Still waiting on it. Even though we just found out that CNN in the last 3 years lost over $400 million of its value. They're dying. We don't have to worry about the legacy media anymore. What they say and what they produce means nothing. They are literally sitting around yelling at themselves. That's all. In a big giant circle. George, how do you feel about today? George is in St. Louis. How are you, sir?
Reese, I think it's a savings grace. I think the Lord's back in his heaven, and the devil's back in the hell. That's what I think about today. But you talk to the public and they say, what's the best thing about Joe Biden? He saved us from COVID. You know something? He didn't save us from anything. If you remember, you remember social immunity?
Yeah.
Remember the word social immunity? We had already started developing a strong resistance to COVID by the time those vaccines came out. We didn't, to the point where we didn't even need those vaccines anymore. But, it was another kickback scheme by the Democrats with Madeira and the other vaccinations companies. They were getting a kickback from all those vaccines, from, like I said, from the same as they did with renewable energy. There was another kickback scheme to the Democrats developing vaccines against COVID. It was another crime by the Biden syndicate.
And I think all of that stuff is going to be revealed. I think to be honest with you, I think if there's anything that's going to be realized, because I think that Donald Trump, if I were to say there was going to be revenge, and tell me what you think of this, George. If I'm thinking Donald Trump on revenge, if he even is thinking about that, what COVID did to him, with regards to Anthony Fauci, the NIH, the CDC for that matter, how they behaved during that time, sort of laying it at his feet.
It was billions of dollars poured down the sewer. That's what it was. It's the same sewer that Biden and the Democrat Party came from. It's the Sopranos all over again.
It might be right. You might be right about that.
It's a Democrat Party of Sopranos that was running the country for the last 4 years, and 40% of the people out there haven't realized it yet.
Yeah, that's coming to a head, though.
Sopranos that was running the country the last 4 years.
That's about to come to a head. And like I said, I think today is going to be a whole lot of reveling, but I know that Donald Trump, tomorrow is going to be a completely different day. I can't wait to hear what the news cycle talks about.
The important thing, Reese, there ought to be a full investigation of the last 4 years.
I think there will be.
Every one of those criminal Democrats It should be out there. What they've done to the country and the suffering that they've caused and the damage that the Democrats have done. That should all be investigated.
All I wanted to, like I said, I just wanted to expose. Thank you, George. What's his name? John King? Is this John King? Yeah, John King. He said, and again, this is what a lot of people are going to have to answer to. And John King of CNN knows this, that this is going to be one of those horrible things that people cannot defend. And they have to make a choice. Their choice is going to be save themselves, their credibility, or toss Biden down the drain. Now, I believe these people are going to toss Joe Biden. They have to, because they're the ones who have to stand up on the stage all day. So, and again, there's nothing, I mean, forget about it. Accountability is not who they are. But here's John King talking about the last-minute preemptive pardons of family members.
It's just unseemly. If you're going to do it, have the courage to do it in the light of day and explain it to the American people. It's a stain on his legacy to do it like this.
It is. But again, he had no legacy to begin with. There'll be no presidential library. There won't be anything. Everyone wants Joe Biden to disappear. And everyone wants to pretend like the presidency didn't happen. That's where it is. They want to pretend that the presidency didn't happen. That's how much he screwed this up. And his administration did, because they did it all on their own. Let's go to Mark in Watertown. How we doing, Mark?
I can't hear you. And his administration
Mark,
did, because they did it on
you
their
can't.
own. Yes.
Wait, Mark obviously is listening to me, and I can hear myself. I sound fantastic. Let's see if we can get Mark back. Mark, you there?
Yes.
Okay, turn me down in the background. I can hear myself.
All right.
Let's put him on hold until he gets there. He's obviously listening live. Mark, how about now? There we go. How are we doing, sir?
I just want to say that I'm Mark of Watertown. I'm a Democrat.
Okay.
I'm a union member, and I think Trump getting elected is the best thing that ever happened to this country.
Wow.
And we need him. And the Teamsters supported President Trump. Now, the Teamsters are the #1 union in the country. If they supported Trump, I will too. I have belonged to the Teamsters Union. I have belonged to the Machinists Union. I have belonged to the Grocery Union. I know what unions are. All the unions should get behind Trump, and let's get the show on the road.
Thank you, Mark, and I appreciate you, sir. I think there's a growing sentiment of that. I mean, what did we see today? We saw all of these people marching yesterday. We didn't see anything today. I guess because either it's too cold, or I guess there was really no real effort to disrupt it. Where's Madonna? She's got a new young boyfriend or something, doesn't she? He's like 28, right? Isn't he like 3 times younger than her? She is right in her 60s, isn't she? Roland, isn't she that old? Isn't she kicking like the 60s? I know she's at least 10 years older than me. I know she's up there. I think her boyfriend is like in his okay, maybe twice our age, but whatever it is, he's a young buck. He's really young. Sean is in Meriden. How you doing, Sean?
Hey, how you doing, Reese? Great day for America, and a renaissance. I thought the inauguration was absolutely out of this world. I was in tears for half of it.
My wife was too.
And then when I heard about the pardons, I'm like, so even on his way out, he's got to be a knucklehead. And I don't even know what little speech he had. Like he had a deprecation hub, and I don't know what speech he had wherever he landed.
Yeah.
But he had some little speech, and I haven't heard it yet because I'm working like most people do. Unlike a lot of Democrats, but the deal is, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great for the country, and really turning a page. Except for the fact that now that they have been pardoned preemptively, and I loved your definition of what a pardon is about, it's almost admitting guilt beforehand. And I thought that was very accurate. I thought it beforehand, before you said it. Sorry, I think on my own sometimes. But it was very accurate, and that's what I like it, because this is all going to be about transparency, and let's see what goes on and who's doing what. And if Democrats are doing great things, fantastic, praise them. If Republicans are doing bad things, nail their butts to the wall. Just the law be the law, and I'm all for a new age.
Indeed, sir. That's all we need. I think you're 100% right about that. Thank you so much. Appreciated. Stick around. Barbara's in Avon. I want her to call in. And by the way, I owe Barbara a phone call. We'll talk about that when we get her on the air. Joe Biden did give a speech afterwards, as many presidents do. The farewell is never really over until it's over. But he gave a speech, and I'll just say the quote. He says that we're leaving office, but we're not leaving the fight. Look, with all due respect to the Biden family and to Joe Biden and everybody else who says, yay, he's not leaving the fight. Joe Biden's leaving the fight, okay? Joe Biden is leaving the fight. You are never, ever going to see Joe Biden in public view anymore, ever. Because anyone who talks to him is going to, what is the story? You preemptively pardoned your brother and other family members. You pardoned the January 6th committee, who you said were doing great work. Were defended by the Constitution. There is no reason to, you're going to have to answer that. Even if you have an answer for the January 6th committee, even if you have an answer for Dr. Fauci, you have no excuse for your brother. None. So he's going nowhere. If he's going anywhere, he's going home. Joe Biden's not coming out to the public, not without answering questions, tough ones. Let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the southbound side of I-91, delays 33 down to 32 A and B. And again, a little bump 18 down to 17 as you move down into Meriden. Northbound 91, good ride, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound side of 84, you're losing a little speed, Bulkley Bridge up to 48 Asylum. 291, 384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay as you move Glastonbury into Marlboro. 2 westbound, look out for an accident just prior to exit 20 in Colchester with a lane out there.
You got it, Kevin.
Middletown looks good down in the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in Waterbury, delays from 25 up to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in, westbound in Danbury. Got some slow traffic from 9 in Newtown to 7 in Danbury. If you're heading in toward New Haven, southbound 95 is a little tight, 44 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Road closure right now in Glastonbury. Route 94 shut down between Ridge Road and Pembroke Terrace because of a one-vehicle accident reported there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Monday afternoon, hazy sunshine, breezy with blowing and drifting snow, a colder day, the high 27. Clear and very cold tonight with the low down to 9 degrees. Then Tuesday, mostly sunny, even colder, the high only 22. Tuesday night, cloudy and bitterly cold, the low down to 3 above. Mostly sunny, still very cold for us Wednesday, the high of 21. It does begin to break, though, as we head toward the end of the week. On Thursday, partly sunny, not as cold, the high up to 31. Plenty of sunshine to round out the week on Friday with the high of 32. Then partly sunny on Saturday, heading into the weekend, the high right back to 32. Mostly cloudy, a bit milder as we head into Sunday, though. The high moving up to 40 on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
22 degrees and partly cloudy in Hartford at 4:30. Good afternoon, I'm Bob Brown. WTIC 1080 News. President Trump sworn in at noon today as the nation's 47th president in the Capitol Rotunda. Trump serving his second non-consecutive term in the White House.
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer.
Democratic 1st District Congressman John Larson is in Washington for the inauguration, while Larson admits on WTIC that he would have liked to have seen a different president. He does support the peaceful transfer of power and is trying to keep an open mind about the incoming administration.
It's a great thing for the country to watch the peaceful transition
of government. And I think, again, incumbent upon us to make sure that it's peaceful and unlike what transpired on January the 6th.
Larson is there with the rest of Connecticut's all-Democratic congressional delegation, as well as Governor Ned Lamont. Federal safety regulators upgrading an investigation into Ford's hands-free Blue Cruise driving system.
The investigators specifically looking at whether vehicles that have Blue Cruise properly detect stopped and slow-moving objects, and whether drivers are given enough warning. There have been 2 fatal crashes involving Blue Cruise, 4 other frontal collisions. This intensifies a probe that began in April.
Jeff Gilbert reporting. Men's college basketball, UConn hosting Butler tomorrow night. The UConn women's team taking on Villanova Wednesday night. NFL Conference Championship next Sunday. Eagles host the Commanders at 3. Chiefs host the Bills at 6:30. Notre Dame and Ohio State in college football's national championship game tonight. 22 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, the new year is here. And if you're like many of us, you're going to make a resolution to improve your health. But if you're feeling sluggish and low energy, if your sleep patterns are off, if you've been working out and aren't seeing the gains you used to see, making that resolution may not be so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're feeling the way I just described, we can likely help you with that resolution, because those symptoms probably mean you're suffering with low testosterone. And at Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating this condition. With our low T protocols, if you're like most men, the change will astound you. You'll feel more energy and better mental clarity. Your sleep will improve. Your workouts will be better, and you'll likely find your sex drive goes up as well. So call us today and get treated for your low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices: Salem, New Hampshire, Dedham, Marlborough, Woburn, Farmington, Connecticut.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all event. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
And we're back. It's Reese on the radio. And I don't know, I told this story a long time ago, and it's appropriate because it was the Democratic National Convention of 2008, Barack Obama's. And I told this story about how I ended up bumping into Gayle King. And because I used to do a show in New York on Power 105, I told it, at the time I was working for our former sister station in Boston, but I told Gayle King that she and I had a friend in common, none other than Ed Lover from Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. You might remember that from Yo MTV Raps. And I was telling Gayle King at the DNC that she and I had a friend in common, Ed Lover, because she and Oprah had just been on the show, or had been on the show a couple of years back. Anyway, so we were talking about that in opining, and I didn't think that she listened to my program that I was on while Ed Lover was on in the afternoons. And I work with Ed. He's a great guy. He and I are from the same part of town in Queens. And so we're talking about that, and I didn't think she knew me or the show that I was a part of. But when I told her what show I was on, she was like, "Oh, you're the guy that only dates white women." That's what she said. Which in essence was my character on the show. Right? My show was supposed to be a crossover Brian Gumbel type of black guy, right? You know, very conservative. You know, that was my role on the show. So I found it odd that Gayle King knew that immediately about me. I was like, wow. I was like, you know who I am? She goes, yeah, we know who you are. That's what she said. She and Oprah knew who I was. And I said to myself, hey, kudos. Oprah knows who I am. Interesting. But then, instead of just saying it in passing, she said, So why do you only date white women? This bothered her. She was very serious about it. So nothing surprises me when Gayle King on the CBS Morning News says this.
Guys, I have to say, I'm looking at this crowd. I do not see many people of color. Does anybody else besides me observe that? I'm fascinated by why that is.
On Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Damn, that woman is obsessed with color. Damn. She's looking out in the crowd at the inauguration, and she's out there picking out black people. She's counting them by number. I have an expression for that. It's like we call it the Negro search engine. We should call it Noogle. Oh, hell, applaud me. That's what it should be. These people who look in the crowds and start pointing out, how many black people are here? 1 black, 2 black, 3 black, 4. Who are these people? They are absolutely insane. I look, again, like, this is so much bigger than that. And she's pointing out black folks. I don't know what to make of her, but yeah, that's what she did. I'm looking out here. Do you see any people of color? Have you pointed out any blacks?
I have to say, I'm looking at this crowd. I do not see many people of color. Does anybody else besides me observe that? I'm fascinated by why that is.
Fascinated. Is anyone else notice that? No, Gail. Just you. Just you. The person who sees everything through the lens of race. Through the lens of race. Again, I don't know if it gives any credence to the story I just told you, but that's who they are. That's who she is. Let's get some more. Another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Let's see if he points out any black cars. I'm kidding, Mark. I'm sorry.
There's a few of them out there.
There's a couple of cars of color.
Yes. I'm going to go with that.
All right.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Southbound 91, you got delays 33 down to 32A and B. In Hartford, if you are south of downtown, moving into Meriden, a little slow, 19 down to 17. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Both sides of 84 moving well, Farmington to Vernon. 291, 384, no issues. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury into East Hartford. Quiet Middletown, a little sluggish traffic, 84 westbound, 25 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury, and again by exit 18 in Waterbury. 84 westbound in Newtown, delays 9 to exit 7 in Danbury. 91 in the Parkway moving well, heading down in toward New Haven. 95 southbound delays 46 down to 44 in West Haven. And we do have a road closure this afternoon, and that is in Glastonbury. That's shutting down Route 94 between Ridge Road and Pembroke Terrace. One vehicle accident reported there earlier this afternoon. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear and cold tonight, low down to 9 degrees, then remaining quite cold as we make our way through Tuesday. Mostly sunny, the high 23. Cloudy, still very cold Tuesday night, the low down to 4 above, mostly sunny. Remaining frigid on Wednesday, the high 23. Cloudy much of the time Wednesday night, the low down to 9. Partly sunny, not as cold for a change on Thursday with the high of 31. Plenty of sun Friday, the high of 32. Currently, it is 23 in Danbury, 19 in Mansfield, 21 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
I'm attorney Haley Allaire. At Allaire Elder Law, we recommend that anyone over 18 consider making certain legal documents, though by retirement age, it is most important to build your plan. For example, a power of attorney can be helpful when you're away at college as much as in the event of incapacity. The earlier you start planning for the possibility that assistance may one day be needed, the more choice you have over what happens next. Find out more at AllaireElderLaw.com. That's AllaireElderLaw.com. Allaire Elder Law. Compassionate counsel and proven results.
Success is picking up
1 minute.
Family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply by February 12th and save with no application fee. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goal.
And 10.
Started on your next success. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let's get back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Mike is in Plainville. How we doing, Mike?
Good. When do you come up with your subject matter for the 5 o'clock focus? Do you do it before your show?
Usually I do it before my show. If it's ever during, it might be, if it's ever during the show, it might be because something popped up that will kick out the old one that I've decided on.
Okay, that's why you don't announce it. I was going to say, guys like me, 70, I have a thought in my mind, then it goes away, with short-term memory loss. But
I totally get it.
Could you announce your subject a little earlier in the program?
No 5 o'clock. Really... I'm not going to do a 5 o'clock focus today because it's the inauguration. So I don't want to take it off. Okay. I don't want to take it off of that because everyone's got something to sort of opine about with this thing, especially with the inauguration. Of course, the pardons, those things are a lot of stuff that people want to get into. So I don't want to take that away from them.
Gayle King, probably the only reason why she is where she is because of Oprah.
Of course.
Her tutelage. They just run hand in hand, and this woman, she's about as non-impressive as John Larson. Both of them make me want to hug the toilet bowl when I hear them.
I find it, listen, the part I don't seem to understand about the whole Gayle King thing or people who do that is that they're not embarrassed afterwards. Like when those videos go viral, they don't understand that they're going viral for the wrong reasons. And when people pick up on that, they go, Gayle, you work with people of different races, white people, black people, and Hispanics or Asian for that matter. Why do you have to make it about those things? Do you not respect me because of my skin color? And I don't understand why more people don't just look her right in the face and say, what is your problem with white folks? Because that's what I would ask them. What is your problem with white people? Just say that.
I would just tell her to shut up. I wouldn't even, 2 words, shut up. Now, I want to make, she's horrible at Channel 3 in Hartford. Oh, my God.
I hear that.
NFL.
Yes.
Okay. After listening to Tony Romo and Tom Brady doing color commentary over the weekend, I'm tone deaf. Tom Brady, get out of announcing, get a job coaching or something, or scouting. Stay up, he's too much.
Yeah, I know people really are not feeling Tom Brady. Don't worry, that's been remedied. After this year, he's no longer doing the broadcast booth.
He's not?
Nope. There's already word that they're going to.
Know?
Oh, because there's already word that that the NFL or Fox has decided it wasn't a good look and it didn't work for them very well. Too many complaints, so they're going to move him out.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, one more comment about the pardons. It doesn't surprise me one bit. This vegetable, last day in office, giving a preemptive pardons. That's an admission of guilt.
Yep.
What the?
Yeah,
can the new president, can Trump come in, step in, and stop all this?
I don't expect him to, because again, you open that can of worms, or you open that Pandora's box, and then it will. Well, if he's going to challenge Biden's, then we're going to challenge his, and no one wants to go that.
Yeah, he's got too much. He's got enough to do without that.
Exactly. This is one of those things where you just have to let it go and let the American people respond. Sometimes you have to let that stuff lie in wait and let the bricks fall where they may. And eventually, again, this administration, I'll put it to you this way. Here's the best way to look at it, Mike. If indeed nobody on the Democrat Party speaks up and condemns the action of the president, a former president, if no one does that, Donald Trump can use that and beat them over the head with it. that none of you stepped up when he pardoned his family, when you accused me, because Donald Trump is going to put that video on his Truth Social and on his Twitter page. He's going to play that video that I just played with everyone talking about Donald Trump doing it and how wrong it would be, and then give the response that says, look at what this guy did when you said that I would be criminal for doing it. He did it. And if you don't stand up against that, then you're a joke. And that's what Donald Trump's going to use.
The comments he made today that I listened to him from yesterday, he just made so much sense. The one thing that rang true with me was the fact that there's so many Americans and voters that are just at ease just to get the previous administration out. I mean, this is like, I haven't seen, even people at work are relaxed, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
That I see every day, my fans, they hear me on the radio, and I always tell them, Reese, I wouldn't be able to express my opinions without your patience with me and putting me on the air and helping, letting me go.
I love you guys coming on the show. Like I said, newcomers and the regulars. You guys make the show, so I appreciate you, Mike. Thank you, sir. Let's go to Bill, who's in Granby. How we doing, Bill?
Doing well, Reese. Good to hear your voice.
Thank you, sir.
I listen to Shattuck and Feinberg all the time. I listen to you all the time, but it's the first time I'm calling in.
No problem. Thank
Love
you
your show.
Thank you, sir. What do you got for me?
Yeah. So, well, I was watching the inauguration, and at first I just want to say I'm 61, so this is the greatest. I was a huge JFK fan. I wasn't old enough to vote for him, but he was my hero growing up, and I always thought I'd be a JFK Dem. And then when Reagan came on the scene, I realized that it doesn't really matter. The party doesn't matter as much as the individual. And
Right.
Reagan sounded a lot like JFK. And
Did?
so he was the first president I had a chance to vote for. And really, in my lifetime, other than Trump's last run, he's the only president that I really felt good about casting my vote for.
I hear that.
So today was an amazing day. And I just want to comment on the pardons. No surprise, Biden was asked, and those questions were answered a million times. He lied through his teeth. That's all he's done his entire career. You can go back to the 80s when he lied about his stature and his scholarships at school and everything else he lied about when he was forced to resign. So more of the same, no surprise. But I think that's probably the greatest gift that the Democrats have ever given the Republican Party, because you don't pardon people that don't need pardons.
That's
and
right.
so that's just evidence that the Biden crime family is, in fact, a crime family. And I'm confident that the Republicans are going to hold investigations. And now that they have access to the truth, that the truth is going to come out, and they're going to prosecute this matter and reveal everything to the public, even though the people may not be able to be held accountable, because the public needs to know exactly why they were pardoned and all the crimes they committed, even if they can't be held accountable. It's
Exactly.
really important, and I'm confident that that's going to be done. So he basically just gave us the trail
That's all.
of individuals that we need to go investigate.
You know what? It's fun because, again, and what's so perfect about what you just said, Bill, is this. If there weren't breadcrumbs leading to the criminality of Dr. Fauci, Joe Biden provided them by pardoning him. Same thing with Liz Cheney. Same thing with Adam Kinzinger and Adam Schiff. All he did was say, hey, if you didn't want to criminally charge these individuals, let me tell you why you should. I'm going to pardon them, which now puts puts a target on them and says, go find out what they did. So now what Donald Trump has to do, and I think this is the most important part, he doesn't have to charge them. What he has to do is embarrass them and expose them to the point where, if indeed that what they did was criminal, force them to resign. Because I think Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney are out of public office. They'll never run again if they find out what they find out. But Adam Schiff, all you have to do is leak everything you find out about his criminality, and he'll be forced to resign in embarrassment anyway.
Well, I think Schiff and Swalwell and all those that were involved they have to have their clearances revoked. And I think it's got to be more than just leaking information.
Absolutely.
Congress has to do a real investigation, as if they were going to put these people on trial and hold them accountable.
That's right.
He can't pardon everybody. So some people will be able to be held accountable, others not. But the public needs to understand what they did.
And you just said it, Bill. Bill, you just said it. You said the public needs to know. So let's use an old liberal tactic. Let's convict them in the court of public opinion. That's
exactly. Exactly.
So that's
because that matters. That can matter more than an actual conviction where, both sides agree that, people are above the law and nobody's really going to do any time. So the actual conviction doesn't matter as much as convicting them in the court of public opinion.
That's right. Indeed. Thank you, Bill. Much appreciated, sir. Let's go to Mike in Meriden real quick. How we doing, Mike?
Hey, I'm great. Reese, just first time getting through with you. I talked to some of the other guys before. Pastor Will is somebody I've known for a long time.
Much appreciated.
Anyway, a lot of good stuff you were just talking about putting it back on them, play their game,
Yep.
But what I want to talk about, they were talking about who's running this state for these years. I heard someone earlier wrote a book about the communists, all these guys being communists.
Sure.
All our senators, legislators, the governor belong in the communist parties. And it's easy to kind of believe it when you find out now that China's got ports on each end of the Panama Canal, and the biggest oil platform in the Gulf of Mexico is run by China, so.
They're all going to go running. That's going to happen right now. The first thing that's going to happen is everyone who's got any place set up shop where they've been abusing their power or abusing the lack of power by this government, they are going to go running in the next couple of days. You won't even, you'll all of a sudden it's like, hey, why are these people leaving? When you saw, and I don't know if you saw this, Mike, did you hear the reports of the self-deportations that are happening?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We're talking thousands of people. No one is talking about it, but this also happened in 2017. I talk about this all the time. When I worked for U-Haul, at the time of 2017, I was an area field manager for U-Haul. So in other words, I had a couple of stores that I ran, so I would go from space to space. And in Manassas, Virginia, which is a heavily populated immigrant community, and a lot of illegals live there, we couldn't keep a U-Haul on the lot, and they were all going to Eagle Pass.
Well, I like that court of a public opinion. It's like an OJ. He got found innocent in criminal court, but found guilty in civil court, and it cost him, even more. So.
Exactly. Thank you, Mike. Much appreciated, sir. Let's go to Barbara. She's back in Avon. How are we doing, Barbara?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
I've called Rush Limbaugh's show a couple times in my life, and they always say, don't ask him how he is. Get to the point. Don't talk that way. Okay, so I wanted to talk about what Trump said today, and I thought it was one of the most impactful, historic, important speeches I've ever heard in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. Probably the most impactful speech, and the other part of it that was so stunning is that we had Obama, Hillary, Bill, the Bushes, all those people sitting there, a captive audience. They couldn't run away.
Exactly.
They had to listen to everything they've done.
That's right.
And there was some sweetness to that.
You felt, you know what? Listen, and I think this is I want to say I would say the most intriguing part about Donald Trump, and many MAGA folks have told me about this. They feel like he speaks for them. And when he does, they all feel like in some way they are influencing his speech, like he speaks through them in some way. Like when he goes out there and he gives that speech, it's sort of like pointing his finger at every one of them, and they all feel like we're all in on it. Like when he's talking to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris about their 4 years, he's speaking for every one of us. He didn't miss a beat, didn't miss one of our grievances, and let them know, everyone, that we are not going for this anymore. It's a completely change of direction. And to watch them, as you pointed out, for those folks to have to sit there in a captive audience, and I think I said it earlier, when he gives it on the campaign stump, those people don't even listen to it. They can hear the sound bites or get quotes from it, but they don't have to listen to it, but they're always forced to respond. In this case, they could do nothing. And that's what made it all pleasurable.
It really. Now, I just listened to it in my truck today because I was working. But I talked to a friend that actually watched it and said they couldn't get away. They had to listen to it.
I would have loved it if one of them would have just got up and walked out. I would have loved it. Because you notice, here was the other thing. Try this on for size. And this was probably more noticeable than anything, Barbara. What about the time where in his speech, he talked about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and talking about making his dream a reality? Right. That
Judge
should have
people
got
by the content
everybody.
of their character,
Exactly.
not the color of their skin.
That moment, bringing up Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., regardless of the partisanship, everybody on that day should have risen. They didn't.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
It reminds me of the State of the Union address where Donald Trump mentions how he brought in unemployment down in the African-American community at the best
They
level.
didn't say a
Right.
word.
And they didn't even clap. They sat on their
Correct.
hands.
Nobody. That's right.
And that's
right.
all you need to capture. Just like these people couldn't even step up for something that everybody should applaud. They couldn't do it because Donald Trump said it. And that, for me, just says that's the image I run in every campaign. Remember who these people are.
That's right. And I'll be really happy when all these criminals, because I feel they all violated our Constitution. And who was that woman that what's her name? That was part of the committee.
Liz Cheney.
No. The other, the woman that got up and gave the first speech.
Amy Klobuchar.
Democracy. Klobuchar.
Yeah.
If she said democracy once, she said it 50 times. And we're not a democracy. We're a republic. And how come she doesn't understand that? Why is she even there?
They love
Why
that.
Are they calling these people honorable?
Barbara, they repeat that because remember, you repeat it 1,000 times and it becomes truth. It doesn't have to be truth.
Right.
You just have to repeat it
know that.
a bunch of times. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And look, happy
Reese.
Inauguration Day.
Oh, it's a blessed day
You
for
got
the
it.
world. For the world.
You got it. And in many cases, you can say Happy New Year. That's what I'm saying. Happy New Year, Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center.
Same to you, Reese. And if you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, you're going to see a little slow traffic on the southbound side of 91 from exit 34 down to 33. And then again, some delays as you move down.
I'll be right back.
Getting by exit 20 in Middletown, 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91, good ride. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. East and westbound 84 wide open. Farmington and Vernon 291, 384 okay. 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Now, we do have a road closure in Glastonbury. Route 94 is shut down between Ridge Road and Pembroke Terrace because of a one-vehicle accident that occurred in the 2 o'clock hour this afternoon. That roadway is still shut down. If you are heading in toward 291 or 384 east of the river, that looks good. No problems in Middletown 90 in the Oregon Bridge. Waterbury 84 westbound, a little slow by 25. Again, 22 to the Mixmaster. And again, some slow traffic from the Mixmaster out to exit 18 in Waterbury. Heading on the westbound side of 84 in Newtown, delays 9 to 7 in Danbury. 95 South New Haven, slowings from exit 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Monday afternoon, hazy sunshine, breezy with blowing and drifting snow, a colder day, the high 27. Clear and very cold tonight with the low down to 9 degrees. Then Tuesday, mostly sunny, even colder, the high only 22. Tuesday night, cloudy and bitterly cold, the low down to 3 above. Mostly sunny, still very cold for us Wednesday, the high of 21. It does begin to break, though, as we head toward the end of the week. On Thursday, partly sunny, not as cold, the high up to 31. Plenty of sunshine to round out the week on Friday with the high of 32. Then partly sunny on Saturday, heading into the weekend, the high right back to 32. Mostly cloudy, a bit milder as we head into Sunday, though. The high moving up to 40 on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC weather.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
22 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News. We're digging out from last night's storm, which dumped 4 to 5 inches of snow over the region. Now comes a blast of extremely frigid air. Roads are icy. Take it slow out there. The forecast coming up. President Trump sworn in at noon today as the nation's 47th president in the Capitol Rotunda.
The president says he's back.
I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success.
Honing closely to the concept of American exceptionalism.
Our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world.
Trump also zeroed in on illegal immigration.
And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country.
Adding he will end the practice of catch and release while restoring the Remain in Mexico policy. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Trump expected to sign at least 200 executive orders, many of them questionable to say the least. Here's Connecticut U.S. Senator Chris Murphy with the reaction to the president's speech.
We're not invading Greenland. We're not taking over the Panama Canal. But if we all spend the next week talking about Panama, then that'll give them a week to take the first opening steps in cutting Medicare and Medicaid by $2 trillion, which is what they're promising to do.
Trump says he wants to end birthright citizenship. Connecticut Attorney General William Tong.
When I was born not far from here in Hartford Hospital, I was born the first American citizen in my immediate family by right of my birth on American soil. Birthright citizenship. So many people share my story here in Connecticut.
The heads of the January 6th committee say they're grateful for the decision by President Biden, or former President Biden now, to pardon them, not for breaking the law, but for upholding it. The Democratic president pardoning Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the House committee which investigated the 2001 attack on the Capitol, Trump calling the pardons disgraceful. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu congratulating President Trump on his second inauguration as President of the United States and thanking Trump for his efforts in helping free Israeli hostages.
I look forward to working with you to return the remaining hostages, to destroy Hamas's military capabilities and end its political rule in Gaza, and to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel.
It's out with the old and in with the new.
Thank you. The now former President Biden gave a farewell address to his administration.
No president gets to choose the moment they enter history, but they get to choose the team they enter history with. And we chose the best damn team in the world.
He said while they may be leaving office,
we're not leaving the fight.
And he said there's much more to be done.
We heard the inaugural address today. We got a lot more to do.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And we mentioned the Arctic blast heading our way in Connecticut. Meantime, an area from the Rockies into the northern plains expected to see temperatures drop unusually low, up to minus 55 degrees, sub-zero wind chills. Men's college basketball, UConn hosting Butler tomorrow night. UConn women's team taking on Villanova Wednesday night. NFL Conference Championship next Sunday. Eagles host the Commanders. Chiefs host the Bills. Notre Dame, Ohio State, national championship football game tonight. 22 degrees, very cold out there. Partly cloudy in Hartford. Drive safely. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
Tom Shattuck here with a question. Was your goal to lose weight this year? If so, are you already down 16 pounds? Serious question, because I dropped 16 pounds my first 3 weeks alone with Awaken 180 weight loss. That's how fast the weight can fall off when you choose the solution for weight loss. Each week, you look at the scale, and the number goes down and down. Every morning you wake
remember,
up,
no
you feel
focus.
better and better. For me, I had huge energy. I still do. And my anxiety is totally gone. Experiencing those results, and given how easily Awaken 180 was, there was no way I wouldn't reach my goal, and I did. And so did my wife, Alice. She dropped 35 pounds. If you add it up between us, that's 115 pounds combined, thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the only weight loss program I know that puts their money where their mouth is. They're so confident in your success, they offer free support for life. A one-time investment in yourself. Here we go. Benefits. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
It's not that case for a lot of people. And that's okay. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Tomorrow is a new day. We'll get back to the 5 o'clock focus. We'll get back to the stupidest thing that I read today, and, of course, the opening monologue and your phone calls. We've got Friday with the airing of grievance and all that good stuff. I've got a couple of other things that are coming back or coming to the show. I say coming back because of my podcast. but they'll be introducing them to the show in the coming days and weeks as well. This is going to be a program unlike anything that you have heard before. I promise you that. It is going to be fun. It's going to, talk about the news events of the day, but it will not be stodgy. It will not be old and outdated. It will not be all curmudgeon-y, but it will be fun. While we talk about the issues that are serious and important on that front as well. So I hope that you will join us for that each weekday between 3 and 6 on the East Coast.
Yeah.
We'll also we'll also get Roland in the mix as well, which I want more of, an exchange between he and I, because even though Roland, what are you in your 40s? Have you hit 40s yet? Or are you just at 40?
Yeah.
Okay. So he and I are, I would say, less than a generation behind one another, but he's more in tune into like the new, the younger crowd. He's not a Gen Xer by any stretch. Would you consider yourself a Gen Y? Aren't you a millennial? Not a millennial, general.
I am. I think I am a millennial.
You are? Okay, so you are considered a millennial. All right.
Like right at the
right at that cusp.
Right at the cusp.
Yeah, okay. So he understands a little bit of the younger audience. I have no interest in the younger audience, but they, I said this old thing is like there's nothing new under the sun. So I am going to refer to you, Roland, when I don't understand anything about the millennials. That's all I'm just saying. You are going to be sort of my guide, my translator, if you will, as you take me through or navigate me through who Little Yachty is and what, any of the popular music, just so we as older folks can understand what's going on. And if indeed things are changing within that culture, or it's just the same nonsense that we did. Because I got to tell you, I'm going to say this, and many people who listen, who know, nothing against the older guys from, the baby boomers. But I think the coolest generation on God's green earth is Generation X. I don't care what anybody says. We had the coolest music. We had the coolest outfits. We had the coolest style. We introduced the golden era of hip-hop, De La Soul, A Tribe Called Quest. We introduced style, and we mainstreamed style. That's what we did. We were cooler than the Daddy-O's. That's Gen X.
Dapper Don.
Yes, that's right. Indeed. So, and I know somebody who would agree with me. None other than Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center. But Mark, are you officially a part of? You got to be a part of Gen X, or you can't be baby boom, even though
I'm
you're
baby
60.
Boomer.
You're a
I'm
baby boomer?
Yeah.
Okay, we can't talk then. Forget about it.
Well, I was the last year of the baby boomer.
You were 64?
Yeah.
Okay, so no. Then you're right at Gen X. You're right at Gen X.
I'm right there.
Yeah, you're right there. So you can't really be a baby boomer at 64. If you'd have been 60, then you're a baby boomer. But no. You're Gen X. You're Gen X. We'll give you a pass.
Well, I'm almost 61, so I'm getting there.
Shh. Trying to help you here. This is called an assist, John Stockton style, okay?
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, 91 southbound delays 34 down to 33. Then we're looking at delays again from 20 Country Club Road down to the area of 19 in Meriden. You have an accident between 20 and 19. Right lane is blocked down there. Now, if you're traveling on the northbound side of 91, that moves well. Middletown through downtown up into Windsor. Both sides of 84 okay. Farmington to Vernon. 291 through 84 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound, no issues. Glastonbury into Marlborough. Now, we do have a road closure in Glastonbury right now. Route 94 is shut down between Ridge Road and Pembroke Terrace because of an accident that occurred in the 2 o'clock hour. So that's still shut down out there. If you are heading into Middletown, looks good 9 in the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in Waterbury slowing, approaching the Mixmaster up to exit 18 in Waterbury. Heading into Danbury, 84 westbound delays 8 to 7. 95 south New Haven, a little tight, 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear and quite cold tonight, low down to 9 degrees, then mostly sunny and remaining cold the next couple of days. On our Tuesday, the high of 23. Tuesday night, very cold, the low down to 4 above zero. Then on Wednesday, mostly sunny, the high back to 23. Again, cloudy much of the time Wednesday night, the low down to 9 degrees. Right now, it is 19 in Waterbury. It's 19 in Bristol. It's 21 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
We all have insecurities. Your smile shouldn't be one of them. Come visit us at Columbia Implant Center. One day, same day, 7 days a week. Call 860-743-1898 or at columbiaimplantcenter.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's be honest, it's not normal. That pain caused from chronic joint pain day after day. Some of you have dealt with that pain for so long, it's part of your new normal, but it's not normal, and you can actually do something about it without surgery and without drugs. That's right. The folks at QC Kinetics can get that done for you. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in what they call regenerative medicine, joint preservation. You can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. It's the future of medicine. They use an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. It's incredible. Thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life to the fullest again. You want to know more about QC Kinetics? Well, they have a free consultation. Give them a call. If you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's injury or arthritis, you can do something about it without surgery. 860-440-PAIN, 860-440-PAIN. They have offices in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. Again, it's QC Kinetics. The consultation's free. 860-440-PAIN.
We all hear the radio ads about the
1 minute.
to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.
Call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Reese on the radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, drop some knowledge. That's me, like I was in the beginning of my rap solo. Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Listen to this audio, still one of my favorite, another super cut.
Is that a thing? Preemptive blanket pardons? I mean, I haven't heard about this since, like, Monopoly with a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Trump has discussed with advisors whether to grant preemptive pardons. What does that say? That he wants to excuse them for things before anybody's even saying there's an investigation.
President Trump, as he winds down his last few weeks in office, is considering preemptive pardons. What a mess. More as we know.
Source saying that some of the president's inner circle, well, they're telling him that it would be perfectly fine to pardon his family and other associates preemptively, even though they haven't been charged with any crimes. How much damage could be done to this country can he do to this country on his way out?
Is that a thing?
That was none other than Anderson Cooper, Chris Cuomo, Rachel Maddow, and Don Lemon. I can't believe them. What do they say now? I'm going to look at all of their sites. We're going to see if we can get them to respond and see what they have to say now. And we'll play their own words back to them. Back to the phones we go. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Dan. How we doing, Dan?
Good evening. How you doing?
What's up, sir?
Two quick things. One, I think that the Justice Department, when Trump gets in, should take this issue to the Supreme Court to find out if it's legal.
Okay.
A pardon is basically there for someone who's already been convicted, unjustly serving time, whatever it is, of a crime. Mm-hmm. Not a blanket to say, well, if they committed a crime, we're going to make sure they're not prosecuted for it.
May I push back on that a little bit, Dan, if I may?
Go ahead.
Let me push back on it because I did look this up when the story started to come out that there were going to be some preemptive pardons. And I looked up Gerald Ford and his pardon of Richard Nixon. And if I'm correct here, Richard Nixon was charged with no crime. He resigned before they impeached him. And the conditions of the pardon were preemptive charges that would possibly come for him. Am I wrong there? I'm almost positive that's right.
That is right.
Okay.
And I don't think it should have happened at that point.
I agree.
Either,
it was the undoing of Gerald Ford.
Right. But the second thing is what they have done right now with all of them, because he's done so many preemptive, he's weaponized this whole system.
Right.
Because right now, any president, he can send his people out. They can commit all the crimes they want, do whatever they want, anything for his bidding, anything to protect him, anything to do for the party or whatever, committing crimes.
You're right.
Knowing that at the end of their term,
That's right.
they're going to be pardoned.
If you keep that crime dark enough, right? If you can have them do these things quietly and have them never leaked, never revealed, at the end of your term, just put out a blanket pardon, which in essence would say, wait a minute, what's he pardoning him for? Just in case, and then,
or even,
go ahead.
Even like when you look at Trump, when they're prosecuting Trump, if we had a Republican president in, they could have just said blanket pardon, all investigations stop.
Yeah, indeed. You're right. I think
So
you're right about that. Yeah, I think, and it's not even a weaponization. I think you articulated it perfectly. It gives license to commit crimes so that they could be pardoned thereafter.
That's it. And that's where we're going to have a big problem with this, I think. I don't know if Trump would do it as much. He might. There's a good possibility.
Sure.
But it gives license to future presidents to be able to do whatever they want, whenever they want, commit crimes. Even the president himself committing crimes by ordering his people to do illegal things.
Yeah.
Knowing that he can be pardoned by the next president or pardon himself.
Yeah, someone's going to write that article without a doubt, Dan. I can see that article coming out of the Washington Examiner, the Wall Street Journal. Someone's going to write that article that says you are giving Donald Trump and any one of his cohorts a blank slate that says, hey, go commit this crime. I'll pardon you tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's the thing is legally, I don't know if it could stand up in the Supreme Court. For people, if you have not been prosecuted, how can that stand up in the Supreme Court to say it's a pardon of a crime you haven't
committed yet, or
found out of?
Haven't been found out? Yeah, that's exactly right. Haven't been accused of or found out about. You're 100% right.
It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
To see what happens.
And it flies in the face of the talking point of being above the law, as it were, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be falling in some very, very funky areas very soon. I think Supreme Court's going to be involved, Justice Department to investigate, just to say, is this legal to do this? We need some clarification, and then they're going to have some straight up information put out that says it is, it isn't, whatever. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, indeed. In the chat room, Sokolowski says, what are your thoughts on Trump refusing to put his hand on the Bible? Okay, let me stop before that becomes a thing. Okay, I witnessed that immediately, and I thought that something was going to be made of that. So, Sokolowski, I'm glad you brought it up. Before I get to James in Durham, I think, and if you watch that video again, Melania comes up a little late because there was the scrambling of getting J.D. Vance's families back to their seats, and there was so much clutter and traffic going on where Melania was sitting. By the time she gets up there, John Roberts is beginning. So when it's not him refusing. The Bibles wouldn't have been there in Melania's hands if he wasn't planning on doing that. He just went with the flow because she didn't arrive there in time, and he didn't want to appear to put his Bible on. He's just, put his hand up, and he does it. I don't think he refused. I really do believe it was just some traffic that caused that to happen. So before anyone starts believing that, watch the video again. But I did notice it as well, Sokolowski. That was the first thing I noticed. And I was like, oh, dude, if he doesn't put his hand on the Bible, somebody's going to make – it's like crossing your fingers when you make a promise, you know? He's like, pinky swear? My fingers are crossed. That's all anybody's going to talk about. Let's go to James in Durham. Thanks for holding, James. How are you?
Hey, what a wonderful day today is, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I want every day to be special, but I may be asking for too much.
Absolutely. There's a Gayle King and Oprah Winfrey, two of the most irrelevant people that I can think of right now. But anyways, so you said that it was Gayle King that knows you or knew you or was aware of you?
Yes, she was
her and Oprah.
Yes, because we were on a New York. I was on a New York radio station, and they at the time Oprah had I think she still has it. O Magazine on 57th Street. So she listened to our morning show. She was familiar with our morning show and knew the character that I played on that show.
All right. So now, that being said, do you have any way of texting or emailing or contacting Gayle King? Because there's a question that needs to be asked to her.
Oh, please tell me.
After that remark that she made.
You're talking about why are there no people of color at the inauguration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that. So, after the Black Reverend's invocation, boy, that crowd, I thought that was wonderful.
He was absolutely impressive.
Absolutely. And I applauded that when he got done, right?
Yeah.
But then I noticed something. And Gayle King can go and watch the video again. Joe Biden didn't applaud.
No, he did not.
He did not.
There were a lot of things that he did not applaud about.
Was that Reverend in Joe Biden's words not black enough?
Oh, look.
Gayle King needs to answer that.
Yeah.
I think that if there's any way that you can contact her, email her, whatever.
I know how to get in touch with her. I know a couple of people on her morning show. I'll just leave it at that. But yes, I have a way of getting in touch with her.
Yeah, what a wonderful invocation that was.
It was fantastic. It was inspiring. It was roaring.
Yes, it was.
And you know what? One thing, James, if you noticed after it, when he was leaving the dais as he walked by, did you see how many people reached out to him and shook his hand and was like so amazed at the invocation? But here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite part. Watch the guy who's sitting behind Donald Trump after he gives that invocation and he's walking off. Everyone on Donald Trump's side of the dais was smiling. They were beaming after he spoke. And there's one guy who's behind him, a heavy-set older gentleman, who looks at Donald Trump and gives him a thumbs up like, wow, what a choice. Like he was the perfect choice to get that guy up there. It turned the whole thing around, and it made it not just inspirational, but spiritual. It was an amazing speech.
And you know what? One more thing, Reese. I got to inject one more thing
Sure.
As a boomer. The 60s and 70s music was the best, still is the best, and is only the best, and it is the only type of music I will listen to.
Okay, all right. I will say, listen, the baby boomer, when you guys get around the late 60s and the early 70s, you guys tear it up musically. You had all walks of life where people were, I was just watching something, the group Redbone with the song Come and Get Your Love. Yeah. I was just listening to that. I was just like, that's right. We had
Vegas. Yeah, absolutely.
They had a great band. So I was listening to all of these great, that's the one thing I can honestly say about the 70s and the 60s that was absolutely cannot be compared to musically, is that we had, musically, as a country, we had the most diverse amount of people coming up with music that was outside of their traditional spaces.
We all listened to it. Didn't matter.
That's right.
Who, color, this, that, or any. We all listened to it, and
we'll never listen. I'll tell you that we'll never beat as Generation Xers and as a Generation X, I don't think we will ever beat that generation of, I can say, I hate to use the term intermingling, but you know what I mean. It's sort of integration. That integration of everybody's just cool no matter what.
And can I tell you, to this day still, the style, our jeans, our T-shirts, and our work boots or our plain sneakers, not our $3,000 sneakers, but our plain sneakers. I'm in my 60s, Reese, and I'm still wearing them.
Listen, and that may be cool, but I'm telling you what you're not wearing: bell bottoms and butterfly collars. I can't forgive you guys for that one.
No, absolutely not. You got me on that one. You got me. All right, my brother.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, James. Thank you so much for calling in. Yeah, there's no excuse for those things. None. No excuse for butterfly collars. Those things were out there. And whatever you do, if I see another person wearing a dashiki, you're finished. A dashiki should only be worn at one time and one time only. And it's Halloween, because that's a costume. That is a costume. Dashikis. For those of you who don't know what a dashiki is, look it up. Roland, have you ever worn a dashiki? Just even as a joke?
Come on, man.
Okay. Like, come on, man. Thank you. I like having a producer with that type of integrity. I'm not gonna lie. I've worn some. Yeah. It was a joke. Okay. It was a gag, but I did wear bell bottoms once, just once, just once. And and let me tell you, not only were they bell bottoms, but let me tell you, they were green. They were green, lime green bell bottoms, and they had a crease that came all the way down that sort of butterflied out with it like a triangle. It triangled out onto us. Yeah.
You had a fresh press perm too?
Oh, I didn't have a press, but I had what's called permanent creases in the front of them. They're like sewn in. God, they were an awful pain. That was the gag outfit I had to wear with an afro and the whole bit, which was actually my real hair. I can't get into it. It's really embarrassing. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Not a dashiki to be worn by the man.
I don't think I own one. If I do, I have no idea where it would be. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, south of 91 delays, 34 down to 32 A and B. And you're coming back into some heavy traffic again as you approach exit 20 Country Club Road in Middletown. We have an accident on the Middletown-Meriden line between 20 and 19. Right lane is out there. Stay left. Northbound 91 moving while Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Both sides of 84, no issues. Farmington to Vernon. 291, 384, okay. 2 eastbound moving while Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury downtown looks okay, 84 and 8. 84 westbound in Newtown, some sluggish traffic, 9 to 7 in Danbury. And South 95 a little slow as you move down by exit 43 in West Haven. And a tap of the brake southbound on the Parkway as you move West Rock Tunnel down to exit 59 in New Haven. Road closure continues right now in Glastonbury. Route 94, that is shut down between Ridge Road and Pembroke Terrace because of a one-vehicle accident that occurred earlier this afternoon. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Monday afternoon, hazy sunshine, breezy with blowing and drifting snow, a colder day, the high 27. Clear and very cold tonight with the low down to 9 degrees. Then Tuesday, mostly sunny, even colder, the high only 22. Tuesday night, cloudy and bitterly cold, the low down to 3 above. Mostly sunny, still very cold for us Wednesday, the high of 21. It does begin to break, though, as we head toward the end of the week. On Thursday, partly sunny, not as cold, the high up to 31. Plenty of sunshine to round out the week on Friday with the high of 32. Then partly sunny on Saturday, heading into the weekend, the high right back to 32. Mostly cloudy, a bit milder as we head into Sunday, though. The high moving up to 40 on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
22 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford at 5:30. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News. A blast of extremely cold weather. Temperatures for the most part remaining in the teens tomorrow in the forecast. President Trump sworn in at noon today as the nation's 47th president in the Capitol Rotunda. Trump serving his second non-consecutive term in the White House.
Pardons his family on last day in office. Why is he doing that? Is it unprecedented? Yeah, it is unusual, but it's also because of the unprecedented, unusual administration that we have coming in, and he cannot
From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world.
Let me know in the chat.
We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer.
Trump administration ending use of a border app called CBP. That's one that allows nearly 1 million people to legally enter the United States with eligibility to work. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal, attending the inauguration, says he's disappointed with Trump's speech.
I was really hoping for a unifying message, a speech seeking to bring the country together and heal our differences. Instead, it was replete with grievances and grandiosity, playing to cultural and political divisions.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebrations nationwide. King's daughter warning against anti-woke rhetoric. Men's college basketball, UConn hosting Butler tomorrow. A UConn women's team hosting Villanova on Wednesday. Notre Dame and Ohio State, tonight's college championship game. 22 degrees, partly cloudy in Hartford. For more on these and other stories, go to WTIC.com. I'm Bob Brown, WTIC 1080 News.
Shop can't miss deals going on now during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. For a limited time, get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Plus, save $680 on a Mightier 4-piece kitchen appliance suite. Now just $17.96. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 113 through 124. Cannot be combined with additional discounts while supplies last. See store or Lowe's.com for more details and qualifying items.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law. 1 minute. Timeshare. Don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
What had happened was.
It's What Had Happened Was. Brought to you by the Odyssey app on News Talk 1080 WTIC. What had happened was, it's simple. Of course, we are congratulating the 47th and the 45th President of the United States, Donald John Trump. We could not play the I Have a Dream speech, so Reese on the radio gave his I Have an Idea speech. I think it was well received. And yes, I will be making a short of it so that you can share it as well. Because, again, the civil rights organizations of the past, they are no more. They're not serious. These people are just collecting, dollars from donors, and they're there to enrich themselves. They do nothing for the people they claim to be getting civil rights for. But we'll talk about that. Also, by the way, I did get in contact or at least I will be getting in contact with Boise, Reverend Boise. We'll talk about that very soon. I have to have a conversation with him. He's probably checking out the show now to find out what this show is all about. I hope he is, Reverend. I hope you're there. Also, in what had happened was, so make sure that I get this out there. Let me find this clip. This was the people talking about preemptive pardons. If you missed this, here's how that went.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes.
Because they did. That's all it means. Also, we showed this precedent. We showed precedent right here in Burdick v. the United States, which again is Burdick v. United States 236 U.S. 79 of 1915, which reads, there are substantial differences between legislative immunity and a pardon. The latter, a pardon, carries an imputation of guilt and acceptance of a confession of it, which means that a pardon means you are guilty of something, which is, again, what the young lady said there is true. It's an admission of guilt. And that's all we need to acknowledge. Dr. Fauci, who's now saying, hey, I don't want the pardon. I didn't do anything wrong. Good, refuse it. Adam Kinzinger, no, I'll take this fight all the way to court. Good, refuse it. Liz Cheney, where are you? Refuse it. I don't want to hear any nonsense. Refuse it. Say that you're willing to, you want to roll the dice with Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. Let's go. Let's put our money where our mouth is. I bet you they're going to accept those things with open arms. Hey, can I get my pardon, please? Do you mail it or what? When we come back, we'll talk to Apple Lundberg of the new podcast, Prepare to Unfriend, and we'll talk about her experience in Washington, D.C. over the weekend. For now, let's get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A&B, and then slow traffic again approaching 20 Country Club Road in Middletown. Between 20 and 19, we have an accident down there in the right lane, so stay left there. Northbound side 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown up in Windsor. Both sides of 84, easy right, Farmington and
Craig
Vernon.
J., what the heck did Mercedes Slap do?
East of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury looks good, 84 and 80.
Oh, was that her Mercedes Slap?
In Newtown, some slow traffic, 9 to 7 in Danbury. Southbound Parkway, you're seeing some slow traffic now as you move toward the West Rock Tunnel down to 59 in New Haven. 91 southbound moving well from Meriden down in toward the 95 interchange in New Haven. And we do have that road closure still out in Glastonbury. Route 94 shut down between Ridge Road and Pembroke Terrace because of a one-vehicle accident that occurred earlier this afternoon. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Clear and quite cold tonight. The low down to 9 degrees. Then mostly sunny, remaining cold for Tuesday and Wednesday. The high 23. Tuesday night, the low down to 4 above. Then Wednesday, 23 once again under those mostly sunny skies. Then cloudy most of the time Wednesday night. The low back down to 9 degrees above. Right now, it is 19 in New London, 18 in Mansfield. It's 19 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or at CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Traffic on I-84 in Hartford keeps on moving slower,
But at Columbia Implant Center, we're only getting faster, providing you with specialist care assisted by cutting-edge technology. 1 day, same day, 7 days a week. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
Hey, it's Tom Shattuck here with Mark, who, like me, learned how easy losing weight could be with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
After meeting with the staff at Awaken 180, I thought they took everything about me into consideration and said, okay, based on where you want to be, what your goals are, here's what you should do. They laid it out for me. Now, I've had a couple people that I've recommended that have joined Awaken 180. Their program is a little bit different than mine, but we're all seeing results. So I like the fact that they took the time to kind of tailor something to my needs. I looked forward to going on Mondays for my weigh-in. They're very welcoming. They knew who I was just after the first visit. They looked forward to seeing me. And it was almost like just coming home to a family. I mean, it really felt like they were all my sisters. I really look forward to it. I'll go back once a month now that I'm on maintenance, but they're true professionals, and they're very, very nice people.
Nice people who genuinely care about your success. Succeed. Take the first step and reserve your January consultation today. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the... And this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Let me drop this thing here because I have that Burdick versus the United States thing still up on the screen. But you can check that out as well. We'll get to Apple in a second, but we've got one response for Joe Biden's last second pardon of his family. As you know, I played a montage of Anderson Cooper, Chris Cuomo, and Rachel Maddow talking about Donald Trump's preemptive pardoning of his family. But the last person was Don Lemon. He, in that montage, said this.
Source saying that some of the president's inner circle, well, they're telling him that it would be perfectly fine to pardon his family and other associates preemptively, even though they haven't been charged with any crimes. How much damage could be done to this country can he do to this country on his way out?
So Don Lemon has now responded to the preemptive pardons of the guy he was protecting, Joe Biden. And yeah, folks, that piece of garbage, Don Lemon said this.
Here's the breaking news for you. Remember, people were upset that Joe Biden pardoned his son, Hunter Biden. Well, Joe Biden, President Biden, pardons his family on last day in office. Why is he doing that? Is it unprecedented? Yeah, it is unusual, but it's also because of the unprecedented, unusual administration that we have coming in, and he cannot trust his family in the hands of Donald Trump's Justice Department. What do you think about it? Let me know in the chat.
I'll let you know. You're a hypocrite. This is the reason why you should never return to cable TV. It doesn't matter. That's dying too. Oh, you're going to have a lot to pay. They're going to let you know. You're not going to air it either. You're not going to air it. I can't wait to see what the responses are. Now let's get to it. Apple Lundberg is one of my best friends. She is one of my closest buddies and one of my closest confidants. And she has been inspired by yours truly to do her own podcast. I suggested it be called Apple and Dave Save the World, but she came up with an even better one. And it is called Prepare to Unfriend with Apple and Dave. And she joins us now. She's in the D.C. area. How we doing, Apple?
Hello, Reese. We're doing fantastic. I've got me and Dave sitting here. Your arch nemesis is in the kitchen eating.
Oh, my arch nemesis is, of course, their daughter, Abigail, who is, she is only my arch nemesis because I keep calling her out. I know that there's a scintilla of evil in that girl, even though she's adorable. I know that she's beating up third graders when nobody's looking, but I love that girl. So, all right.
Only the boys, Ruth. Only the boys.
Only the boys. All right. So Apple and Dave had decided to embark on this thing. And then, of course, their first, I want to say first assignment for Reese on the Radio was to go to Washington to go to one of the, I guess, the balls or the celebrations. But it turns out that didn't work out for you folks. What happened?
Actually, it was kind of, I mean, it was disappointing. So what happened was in the email, because of the wording, you know, we were under the assumption that the first 20,000 people get in.
20,000, wow.
Hundreds of thousands of people signed up for this email, and we got the confirmation, but so did a couple 100,000 other people. Ooh. It was the first 20,000 in line to get in. So Dave actually stayed home. I went in with Robert, and it was, even though we didn't get inside, it was still such an amazing experience. We started from the front of the line. I do believe I sent you some videos. We started at the front of the line. We walked for probably 2 hours. We never hit the end of the line. We finally cornered one of the DC policemen, and he said the line, they had to snake it in and out of longer streets in DC, and it was actually going across the National Mall.
Wow. Now, when we spoke yesterday while you were out there, you said there were easily 200,000 people outside.
Oh. I could not, I can't explain it. There was, I mean, it was, the streets were crowded. You know, they did have it to where the streets were actually open in case of emergencies. It was shoulder to shoulder on both sides. One side was a line. The other side was all of us trying to find the end of the line. And, but I tell you what, you get that many people together, and all I could feel yesterday was excitement and joy. And I don't think I have ever felt that safe in all my life, not because of the presence of the military and the police and the Secret Service, but because everybody was just in such a good mood. And even though all of us knew we were not going to get in, it didn't stop anybody from still filling the streets, you know, to just kind of come together. It's the first time in a long time that I have seen folks come together in that magnitude. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's the thing that I think most people are interested in. Is like, you go there to get in, you find out that it's oversold. It's like going to the airport and finding out they overbooked the flight and people get irritated and stuff like that. So you go to this event, you realize that, well, you don't expect that many people to show up, but then, of course, an enormous amount do. And you look at it and you go, okay, I didn't get in, but that didn't thwart anybody. No one got angry. It was an opportunity to sort of meet with fellow supporters of the president, and sort of get to know new friends and I guess compadres in some degree. Now, I don't know. I didn't disclose this before. I'm sorry?
I'll tell you what, it was so nice to walk down the streets of a big city like that for those of us who work in DC and know about the culture out there.
Yeah.
It was so nice. You know, you bump into someone's shoulder, everybody's saying, oh my gosh, excuse me, I'm so sorry, or whatever. It was just a completely different dynamic. It was an amazing.
Did you experience any protesters, like even a small smattering here and there? No, really?
None. Not even on the metro when we were going from Woodbridge into the city. I mean, none. We saw no protesters. If there were, I don't know where they were at, because Robert and I walked all over the place.
Was it cold? How cold is it there now?
I ended up buying another jacket while I was out there. It's the coolest Trump sweatshirt ever. I'll have to take a picture of it and send it to you. It's him driving his garbage truck.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's an iconic photo if there ever was one. Yeah. With the exception of the mugshot, I have to say that's the second best photograph of Donald Trump in the garbage truck. And
they had Biden, Obama, Harris, and Hillary in garbage cans on the sidewalk that he was picking up.
Okay. All right. So Apple and her husband Dave. But by the way, is Dave there? How you doing, Dave?
I'm here, Reese. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great. So I want to talk to you because I'm not going to lie. I've known you for a while now, and you are, how do I put this? You're kind of a reluctant guy. And you have always been kind of behind the scenes. You know some famous people. Every time I've ever talked to you, you have a great story about someone famous you run into, but you are not a front of the camera kind of guy. So you and Apple are going to be doing this podcast now. And I can only ask, like, what inspired you to say, hey, let's go and let's do this?
You know, she brought it up. I thought about it for a long time, and she brought it up and said, we should think about doing something like this because, and I guess the thing that has kind of driven me, Reese, is somebody needs to ask the hard question. And there's a lot of questions on both sides of the political aisle that nobody asks and nobody brings up. And there are things that I want to talk about. And you know me, I'm very curious.
Sure.
I pick your brain all the time about what about this? What about that?
Oh, yeah.
And it's things I want to talk about because I look at it, nobody asks these things. And, people I look at, somebody I watch quite often, I really like Charlie Kirk.
Sure.
From what is that, Turning Point, I think?
Turning Point USA.
And he'll ask, he asks questions, but there's a lot of questions that nobody asks and nobody really answers. And that drives me. I guess I need to get those answers.
Yeah.
To satisfy myself, my own mind.
Yeah, Dave is interesting because anytime I go over to Dave or in Apple's house, as soon as I get there, he'll start picking my brain about whatever subject matter is going on in the news media. You would think he wouldn't have to ask if he just watched my show. That's all. He would just watch it and he would know. But he doesn't have the time. He's too busy. Now,
I got to tell you, Reese, and I have to tell you, I would always watch your show all the time, but I deleted my Facebook.
Oh.
And so I don't get the things, but there's a story behind that too, and the whole prepare to unfriend. Reese, I deleted my Facebook because I swing a little bit to the right.
Sure.
With my views and I like firearms and I like my freedom and people, my political affiliation, Reese, I was getting death threats.
Wow.
On Facebook. And just, the violence and the viciousness and the hate.
Yeah.
The separation.
It was so divisive. And something that President Trump brought up today was unity.
Yeah.
And unifying the country and unifying and bringing people together. And that's part of my drive for wanting to do something and talk about it is because these people and they're left-wing, middle of the road, whatever they are, whatever they were so divisive and so violent.
Yeah. You want to have the conversation. Right. You want to have the conversation where the conversation isn't being held. And not only that, you're at least curious. I think that's probably it's going to be the success of the show is that you're asking questions you are genuinely interested in finding the answer to.
Absolutely. That's why I pick your brain all the time because I know I'm going to get answers. But that's why I a lot of times I do talk to you about, political things and personal things as well, Reese, because I know I'm going to get the answer. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get an honest answer. Whether I like that answer or not, you're going to give it to me.
Yeah.
And I just, and I feel like, that's something I need to do for myself is maybe ask myself questions, ask her questions, get you on the show and ask you questions.
You have full access. So the show is called Prepare to Unfriend. You guys are going to be debuting it, I think, within a month, right? We're probably going to get a February debut or maybe earlier.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for.
Okay. All right. Well,
that's what we're shooting for.
Well, listen, I am going to say to you, Dave and Apple, again, their podcast is Prepare to Unfriend. Because I'm such a good friend, I am going to make sure that your podcast is linked on my website, okay, so that people can find it on Facebook, so that everybody can find it. And I look forward to it. And again, any help you need, I will be happy to help you along the way.
Thank you, Reese.
I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to make you take a couple-day vacation and fly out and come see us. We just bought a new laptop today. We got some new equipment. You're going to have to come help us set it up.
Not a problem. Whatever you need, I'll be happy to help. Thank you, guys. Dave and Apple, prepare to unfriend, coming to a social media site near you, and you can find them on ReeseOnTheRadio.com because I'll make sure there's a link. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Reese.
Thank you. I'm hearing something in the background. That's somebody. Who is that? Is that me? Is that you? Something is in the background. I thought that was wrong. Okay, yes. Look at Dave and Apple. They're already saying in the chat room. John Beckman says, good luck, Dave and Apple. And again, they're the greatest people in the world. You are really, really going to like them in their points of view. Both of them, former military. And when Dave says he likes his guns, he's not kidding. He is a gun guy. I don't want to call him an enthusiast. Is enthusiast too harsh? I should have asked him. But he's a big gun guy. And he's goes to the shooting range and all that. And like I said, former military. And well, I don't want to give out their personal business. It's not important. You're going to love their show, and you're going to love. Dave's got a lot of great stories about a lot of famous rock stars and musicians, which you are probably going to enjoy. He's a lot of fun. That stuff is very, gosh, those conversations that I used to have with him with all of those famous people are funny. The people he's walked into. He's got a great story about Bill Murray at the airport, too. I hope he posts that picture on the show so you can see him just randomly talking to Bill Murray at the airport, which is actually really funny. Dave is a good guy, and Apple is, again, that's my homegirl. She's like a baby sis to me. So I'm excited for them. All right, folks, we got to get up out of here tomorrow. New day, second day of what I can only call a new year, a new you. And we're going to make it amazing. We're back to the regular programming of the Reese on the Radio Rundown. We're not calling it that. It's just Reese on the Radio. We'll still have the Sunday show as well. Or maybe, I don't know. We'll figure out the Sunday show thing. It's been going on a year now, hasn't it? I think it has. Anyway, all right, we'll talk about all of that. Thank you, Dave and Apple. Thank you, everybody, for giving us a call. And congratulations to the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good day, pleasant tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of this day, Inauguration Day. Celebrate as you can, but do it responsibly. Do it responsibly, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. He's Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark. See you tomorrow.
Notre Dame or the Ohio State? Who's winning tonight, Reese?
I'm going to go with Notre Dame just because I have no interest. And I like Notre Dame more than I like Ohio State.
I love their coach, Notre Dame's coach. I love him, man. He keeps these guys in these games, even with there's a big talent difference tonight, but I hope Notre Dame can stay.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
It would be nice. Have a great night.
Thank you,
if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32.
Let's go Buckeyes.
I knew it. I freaking knew it. I knew you were going to say that. That's why I picked Notre Dame. Okay, so how did you do over the weekend with NFL picks?
I won one pitch. I always bet $5 or $10, or $10, 15 sometimes.
Right.
One vehicle accident that
I made 36 parlays for the whole weekend. Right, that's a lot of spent like $180.
Right.
So I made one bet that was $1.50, and that's the fucking bet I won on. I was pissed.
That's usually how it goes.
It paid $273.
Traffic and
wow.
weather together on the 8th. WTIC.
It's how it goes, man. Again, you don't get one. Roseanne said, where's my cut? You don't get one.
Hazy sunshine.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man. Good job today. I love that.
All right,
intro,
y'all enjoy
man.
y'all evening.
Thank you, man. You too.
Yes, sir.
And quite cold tonight with the low
all right,
down
everybody.
to 9 above. Then Tuesday, mostly
it has
sunny.
been a pleasure.
Quite a cold day. The high only 22. Bitterly cold.
There we go. All right. Yeah, win one for the Gipper indeed. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you as always, especially you folks on X. Wow, you guys are banging it out on X. I appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow. That's all I can say. Love you guys.